post.
They shall grow not old as we who let grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget. Thank you. May I take this opportunity to wish may the next team win. Thank you.
Big crowd here at the Kyneton Showgrounds for round number 2. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live, and yeah, the crowd enjoyed that, Paul and Cameron, didn't they? It was a real nice mark of respect.
Yeah, that's right, and that's that last post that gets you, doesn't it? Like that got the crowd all. Not too many things keep a lot of people quiet, but that's one that does, and gets the boys up and about for a good game of footy.
It always is eerie when you hear. It is a big crowd here at Kyneton today, and just everyone just quietens down for that 1 minute. It is very eerie, so it certainly puts a lot of things into perspective, doesn't it, Wixie?
No, that's right, mate. And just looking out the Kyneton side out here, and a few sons of guns out there, John. I see young Jai Chambers, son of Darren Chambers, who was captain of Kyneton for a long time. So yeah, interesting to see how the next generation of these fellas go.
And you did mention that they're lookalikes, aren't they, Paul? It's certainly the apple hasn't dropped far from the tree.
No, exactly.
Have you seen Chambers play at all? Any of you two?
No, I've seen Darren play plenty of times, but not the young fella. So be good to see how he goes.
Perfect conditions. We're heading for a top of 21 degrees here. It's partly cloudy. The sun is out and about. So probably not the usual Kyneton Showgrounds that we've become accustomed to the few times that we've been here. Ethan Foreman, interesting in for the Tigers. I think he gives them a little bit of bite around the pack, which I'll need because Nick Stagg, of course, has come into the Sandhurst side after having a year or two off. So it could be interesting through the midfield.
Yeah, that's a massive inclusion for them. He'll be really handy in the middle. one thing for Sandhurst, they haven't got that big body Blair Holmes in there, who's been that stalwart in there for years, Wixie. He's a massive loss for me for them. Who do you think comes in to really replace what he brings to this Sandhurst side?
Well, they've got plenty of options, like they're young options, but Noah Walsh, you got Coglan plays through the middle, Alex Wharton will get a go in there, James Coglan will get a go, so plenty of options, and you'd imagine over the last few years of them playing with Blair Holmes that probably be, not that they're the size of Blair, but they'll be a lot, they're the same.
Noah Walsh is a terrific young fellow. It's an absolute ball magnet for him. He just loves a 1-2 as well. He's a terrific young player. Plenty of young players in this time, as we said, but there are some older players, of course. Bryce Kerno's back into this team. He'll slot down half back, you would imagine, and he maybe swing forward at some stage throughout the game. He'll have a massive impact on this game.
Yeah, look, I thought with Collins being a laid out, oh, not a laid out, but out to our knowledge when we got here, I think he probably would have played down forward, so I think with him out, Kerno, as you did say, probably will spend a bit of time forward. If he goes forward, I'd imagine Harrison Huntley will probably get that matchup, but probably Bear Thornton will get Harrison Huntley to start with because he'll play deep, as we know, the veteran. So we'll see what happens there, mate. Jai Chambers is an interesting one. He floats across half-back, as did Darren. As Darren went on a bit, he started to play a bit of midfield, so interesting to see some matchups and where they end up.
And in the middle there, you've got James Orr and Utica. Jordan Utica, he looks like he's a big-sized boy in the midfield for him there.
Yeah, he's a good recruit, mate. Come down from Kundra Farm with his brother. Big left footer, kicks it a long way, so interesting to see how he goes. Orr, he's been around in Kyneton for a couple of years, as we said. He'll be up against Hamish Hosking, who big up-and-coming ruckman in the Bendigo League. He's been a good footballer for the last couple of years.
We're just about to get underway here at the Kyneton Showgrounds. It's Kyneton versus the Dragons, Sandhurst. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live. Here's Cameron Power.
So in the middle here at the Kyneton Showgrounds, it'll be Hosking and Utica to go at it. Umpire throws it up, one down for the Tigers. That was Orr, comes out wide, spills out to the far side of the ground, picked up by Hannah, who's taken in a strong tackle, and we'll have a ball up. Far side of the ground here at the Kyneton Showgrounds. Only 15 seconds into this one, we are up again. Again, the ruck contest is won by Orr. Goes to ground, umpires plucked out a holding the man free kick, and it's going to go the way of the Tigers. They send it to centre half forward, good strong lead. Now they get the old short hands, they go inside, target down there. It's Ethan Foreman, couldn't quite get to it. Quinn's lurking for the Tigers, but he is pounced upon by 4 or 5 Sandhurst players. And we'll have a ball up just inside forward 50.
Couple of early touches for James Orr, so they're going to have to watch out the Sandhurst midfield.
So it's a ball up they go. Hosking double-handed tap to Stagg across half-back. His kick is smothered. Trying to make a path is Hood, he couldn't. He'll get on the end of a handball. Now he sends it long on the left. It was a full kick, and it'll be a free kick for, there was interference for the Tigers. So we've got a player there wearing number 12 for the Tigers, so we'll have to check on a jumper change late in the game. Short pass across half-back. Tigers looking to build. They'll go to the city end. Short pass into the middle. Marks by Utica. There's 2 Udicas out there, number 7 and number 6. This one's Jordan. Short pass to Youngins. Hamish Youngins by hand. Coughed it up. It was. And now the ball spills wide and end up with Jake Summers.
Works out though. Summers has got it. Got a bit of space. Sends it long inside forward 50. Good positioning and a good strong mark in there. And that is Cameron Manuel. That is a terrific mark. Really good play to get the ball in as well. And what thought might have been a mistake with that handball worked out well for the Tigers. It's going to result in a shot on goal. 35 out with not much of an angle.
Yeah, they had a bit of time to go back, which was lucky because they needed it. But it was good play, just a bit of tempo footy across half-back. Held the ball until they saw something they needed. And the big strong body Manuel wins the one-on-one.
So Manuel to the Kyneton town end of the ground comes in, strikes it, he likes it, the crowd likes it, and the Tigers have got the first goal in the game. 2.5 minutes into it, Cameron Manuel's got it. The Kyneton Tigers are 1 straight goal. The Sandhurst Dragons are yet to score.
He's a good player, this Manuel. Come up from Rowville last year in the Eastern Districts. I think it's a lot, the big strong body moving down forward. He played probably a bit higher last year, but I think getting down to one-on-one's good move.
Terrific contested grab too.
Oh, good strong start by the Tigers. Kicking to the city end. No breeze at all. It's as still as anything here. Perfect conditions at the showgrounds. Or he'll be up against Hosking. Hosking, wow, he's a big body, isn't he? Now it will be Sandhurst who take first possession out of the middle. It was by Paul Pratt, but it was a poor kick. And straight to the Tigers across half-back. Now the kick is spread wide. Orr again gets his hands off the footy. He'll dish off. Now the Tigers will come inside forward 50. Paul Pratt, he smothered it for the Dragons off right half back. He puts it down the line towards the boundary line. Tigers fighting hard. Ends up in the hands of Fisher.
So he got it. Turner then got it. Sent it back into the middle of the ground. Coming across from the side where was Lucas Utica. Couldn't quite take the mark. Ball spills to the ground. Pack of players just divulge around it. And the umpire then crosses his arms and says, I'll have it, and we'll ball it up. About 7 out from home from the Tigers' goal.
Up they go in the ruck. Hosking, he tapped it to Paul Pratt. Paul Pratt, hurried kick by the Dragons. He'll send it shallow inside forward 50. Tigers, they've got the numbers here, but they've cocked it up again. It's ended up with Coughlin. Coughlin goes around the body and he spotted up a teammate inside forward 50. It's Lockie Zimmer, and he'll be, well, he's 45 metres out from goal. I'm not sure if he's got the leg, Paul Wicks.
He'll kick this, mate. He's a good kick of a footy. They got caught out the defence then. They were all taken off because they had possession, but that quick turnover left 3 men everywhere in the Sandhurst forward line. He's
kicking to the Beecham Street end, which is the freeway end here in Tigerland. Zimmer, I've got a good look at this footy. He runs wide, which is an indication he hasn't got the leg. He really struggled and spread it wide just for a minor score. Just snuck it in the end. So the Tigers lead this one. They are 1 goal straight 6. The Dragons are 1 behind. We've gone 4 minutes in the opening term.
Did you just put the moz on him then, Wixie? Oh, he'll kick this.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that.
It was a real across the body. Kyneton bring it in. They go to the scoreboard side of the ground. They just kind of scrubbage the ball up towards the 50, but it's going to be turned over and sent back in. Bouncing ball, bounces over the head of Matt Thornton down there. Unable to really get any clean possession, and we'll have a ball up in the far forward pocket here for the Sandhurst Dragons.
5-point margin here. Tigers lead this one. Up they go in the ruck. Oh, Bear Thornton, he jumped high and he managed to sneak a little handball, a sneaky one over the top to Lockie Wright, who went across the face and puts it out of bounds on the full. Another shot at goal, which was ineffective. And then we'll have a free kick, a penalty kick to go to the Tigers. It'll go the way of Harrison Sheen.
Not very often you miss a goal from 2 metres out and miss it by 25.
He really put it across the face. Sheen decides to switch the ball across the ground, finds a teammate. Last side of the ground for the Tigers. They look to bring it under the scoreboard and they decide to come back. Quinn's in the direction. He's going to be the next link-up play. They go there and the kick is not good. Utica was in a good position, but the kick just carried a little bit too much and it's floated out of bounds on the full. Sandhurst will bring the ball back into play. It's going to be a free kick and it's in the hands of Montague.
Is it Montague? No, we've got another jumper change as well. So we've got 2 jumper changes. This is Sandhurst number 24, so we'll have to get that one for you as well as the ball goes goalward. It was a 4 kick. Might have just snuck in for a minor score, and it did. So the Dragons are now 2 behinds. Kyneton, the Tigers are 1 goal straight. It's 6 minutes in the opening term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Footy Live.
Ball really living down the Sandhurst end of the ground at the moment, but they haven't really been able to put anything on the scoreboard. Kyneton just go one side, then the other. Look to switch again outside the scoreboard side. Now they're going to come back again. Not much happening there. Forced to try and take away. In there is Young'uns. Eventually they work it up towards the wing. Good use of the body there. That was Summers, but he wasn't able to take it. Ball bounces around. Curno's there. He was unable to take it. Spills out the back. Plenty of players around this footy. It's a hot footy early. Good strong tackle with a flight from Walsh. Managed to spill out. It's taken by Curno. He sends it forward, but it's a turnover and it'll be intercepted by the Tigers.
So the Tigers looking to build here. They've got the lead. It's a 4-point margin. They've got the only major on the board. It'll be a long kick to half forward. Whistle off play. I reckon upended was Strawn, Angus Strawn, and yes, push off.
Yeah, threw him to the ground, mate, nowhere near where the ball was.
So Strawn, right half forward for the Tigers to the city end. Umpire Goodridge picked it out early. You heard the whistle in the background. Now he'll look to dish it off by hand, draws a player, gives it to Quinn. Quinn of the Tigers, he's 60 out from goal. It'll go to the teeth of goal. Oh. Good defensive work by the Dragons, just managed to get a fingertip on it. That was Wilkinson, I reckon, and it is now a minor score. So 3 behinds. In fact, it was Ireland. It's 2 behind Sandhurst, 1-1-7 Kyneton. We've gone 8 minutes opening turn.
So Curnow will bring the ball back in. Looking for something on the far side. He looks around, still not much happening. Plays on, then just chips into the pocket. Finds a teammate, that's Ireland. He spreads away and sends it long down the wing. Trying to get a fly out. It might be Thornton on the far side of the ground. It works out for the Dragons. They get a bit of run through the middle now. Now they send it up towards centre half forward. Good attack from the Tigers. Right underneath the scoreboard down there. Plenty of players around the footy. No one able to really get clean possession. It's banged forward, and it's gone out of bounds. And out of bounds on the full, and it'll be brought back into play by the Tigers.
So the Tigers with a footy, doing a lot of defensive work here at the moment. It's 1-1-7, Kyneton lead, 2 behinds in the defensive zone, looking to build something here. Short pass. So they're sharing it around in the back half, the Tigers.
Not much movement going ahead of the ball, is it? They're forced to go back and sideways a lot.
No, it's good defensive work by the Dragons. A kick down the line. Hosking is there. Over the back. Good strong hands. Tigers. Summers. Summers now. Centre wing. Broadcast side. Grandstand side. Oh, he sold some candy there, the big man. He sold it to Curnow. Comes to right half forward. I look to build again, Tigers. Summers. In fact, it was Eels. Eels goes inside forward 50. And it's a mark taken pretty tight up against the boundary line by Manuel.
Look right second here, Manuel.
We're right behind him. Could almost touch him from where we are. We get a good look at this footy. Ireland from the Dragons stands at 40 metres. Really tight angle, but you see him quite often kick from here. He crosses the paint of 50. He starts at left. It's not going to make the distance. A lot of hands on the footy for the Tigers. Was Eels again. Danger signs here. Grab the footy as Randall of the Tigers. They'll need to rush it, the Dragons, and they do. And puts another minor score on the board. So we're looking at 1-3-9. Tigers, 2 behinds. Sandhurst, we've gone 10 minutes in the opening term.
Curnow brought the ball in straight through the middle of the ground, taken by Walsh, who feeds a far handball. Now they're away down the wing. 1 bounce, 2 bounce. They send it up towards centre half forward. Good, strong lead and mark taken. Right underneath the scoreboard here for the Dragons. They'll go with the ball inside forward 50 into the lead in the pocket. Good punch away for the Kyneton Tigers. Ball towards the boundary, didn't quite clear over. And again, I think that's the 3rd time that the ball's gone out of bounds on the full from a Sandhurst kick going inside forward 50.
Bit of a rush kick. He actually had a bit more time than he thought then.
So it'll be free kick Tigers. It'll be Fisher, Caleb Fisher with the footy. They're just waiting for the ball to be returned. It's ended up in the bottom of Beecham Street, asking the crowd to give it back. In fact, correction to the scoreboard, it's 1-2-8 now, Tigers. Sandhurst 2 behinds. Travel 10 minutes in the opening term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live. John Hunter, Cameron Power and Paul Wicks. It's Caleb Fisher, Tigers now. He goes down the line, hugs the boundary line. It falls to the back of the packs. Looking to sweep on the ball was Utica. That was the number 7 Utica, which is Jordan. Wearing number 6 is Lucas. The brothers, they're from Balreynolds or somewhere like that, Paul, aren't they?
They come down from Kundrook Barrels, mate. Originally Canberra. Originally.
Both can play, so already we've seen particularly Jordan with his hands on the footy as it's a throw-in. Centre wing, up they'll go. Hosking, double fister. He's quite good at that. He puts it in the direction of Stagg. Stagg has tackled Tigers by Ethan Foreman. Another stoppage, and umpire Dean Goodrich says, I'll ball it up again.
Very quick to ball that one up. No messing about by Goodrich. Ball spills out. Dragons look to try and win. Kyneton feed a handball back. It's all Dragons. They send one forward. Now the Tigers get that turnover. They come through the middle. Long kick towards centre half forward. Going to get a fly at it. That was Summers. Ball spills to ground, and a couple of players just dive straight on top of it. One of those players, of course, for Sandhurst being Bryce Curnow, who Wixie, we mentioned about where he would play. So far, he's being set up across half back.
Yeah, he has, mate. Doing the kick out. So, bit of utility there. Can play both ends.
78 from goal for the Tigers. Doing the ruck work will be Orr. It's a hurried kick inside forward 50. Sandhurst under pressure again, but Ireland works nicely. Feeds it out by hand. He gives it to Nally. Nally of the Dragons. Down centre wing. Down the line. Bouncing footy. Doing well there was Wright of the Dragons. Handed off to a teammate, and they'll go inside 50. Looking to build towards Thornton, Big Bear Thornton. He was the target, but didn't get anywhere near him. In fact, it was a contested ball on the boundary line underneath the scoreboard, and we'll ball it in. So the score is Kyneton, 1-2-8. They lead the Dragons, 2 behinds underneath that scoreboard, 48 metres from goal, 12 and a half minutes gone. Opening term here at the Kyneton Showgrounds. Umpire will throw it in. It'll be again Orr doing the ruck work. Hosking Bug grabbed it out of the ruck and hurriedly around the body on the left, bouncing into the forward pocket. Thornton, that was a neat little handball to Niall. Niall couldn't get his boot on the ball, then it was smothered. It spills towards the boundary line. Another hurried kick out of the pack by the Dragons was smothered. Tigers They're doing well defensively. They all look at the umpire asking for a free kick. I'm not sure they'll get it.
No, they have got it.
They have got one for the Dragons.
I'm not sure who it is, but the Kyneton player just dived straight on top of that, man.
I think it might have been Ethan Foreman that dragged the footy in, and in nowadays footy you just can't do it. And the free kick will be given to James Coughlin, Paul.
Yeah, as you know, if you dive on it to hit it out, or that's going to happen to you, which is a bit of a relief for the Sandhurst forward line, because Kyneton backs have been pretty good up until this stage.
Well, Sandhurst knew. They screamed to the umpire to give it, and the umpire obliged. Coughlin, I reckon he's kicked it. Geez, he looked at it and he put his head to the side, and eventually it went through and he got the result that he needed. So we're all tied up here at the showgrounds. It's Kyneton and Sandhurst, 1-2 apiece. We've gone 13 and a half minutes. Opening term, footy fresh, is Bendigo Football Live.
Good start to this game, actually, Johnny. Sort of free-flowing, and Kyneton had a bit of trouble before getting it past the Sandhurst half-forward line wall. But once they've got it out through there, they've actually been quite effective coming forward, finding Manuel on a couple of one-on-ones. Good battle in the ruck, too, with Orr and Hosking.
Yeah, terrific battle in the ruck between those two. I reckon Orr's maybe done better in the centre, but around the ground, Hosking's probably having a little bit more of the wins there. Umpire throws the ball up. Orr just flied up above Hosking, knocked it down, but straight to a Sandhurst player who's dumped in a tackle. And the umpire crosses his arms and we'll do it all again. Repeat, ball's moved about 10 metres forward towards the Kyneton goal. The same two rucks will go at it again. Ball goes up. This time it was Hosking able to win it down, tried to rove his own ball. Ball just scragged forward for the Tigers. They eventually find some space, but a good strong tackle from Carraher. A terrific tackle, just as Kyneton thought they were out. Carraher lays a tackle and is rewarded for holding the ball.
So it'll now be Nelly, receive the handball for the Dragons. He goes down the line to the wing. They're running in numbers. Ending up on the end of the handball is Connick. Connick will go inside forward 50. Dragons attacking. Zimmer. He swooped towards the football and just overran it at the last moment. There's a sea of Dragon players near the footy. Hurried kick out of the pack. It's only a minor score and a good, neat bit of play for the Dragons. Good forward thrust. So Sandhurst go to 1-3-9. They lead 1-2-8. Kyneton, 15 minutes gone, opening turn.
Good free-flowing footy, which you'd expect on a beautiful day down here like this.
It was a perfect day for footy, not a breeze in the air. Really couldn't ask for better conditions to play footy, especially after the weather we had last week. Kyneton bring it in. They come down the line, flying up, trying to get on the hands of it was Randall. Ball still to the forward of the pack. Sandhurst go burrowing through. And the umpire says that ball's not coming out of there anytime soon and we'll ball it up.
Probably got away with one there. I reckon Hosking dropped that in the tackle.
So we'll ball it up. Broadcast side, centre wing. A lot of players will run the footy. Bursting through the pack was a player that gave it off to Zimmer inside forward 50, and a mark's been taken, and it was a chest mark pretty easy by Lachlan Wright, and he'll line them up for another one for the Dragons.
Hard to stop when the ball's coming in like that, Cam.
Definitely. It was a really nice bit of play, and it just doesn't give the defender any chance to really be able to do anything with that type of kick, does it?
No, I didn't kick it to him. Kicked it out in space and said, you go and get it, and that's a perfect kick.
So Lachlan Wright with the footy for the Dragons, directly in front, the Beecham Street end, the freeway end. It's a nice long straight kick. Good result for the Dragons. They'll go to 2-3-15. They lead Kyneton 1-2-8. We've gone 17 minutes. Opening term, pretty fresh. Here's Bendigo Football Live.
They've just steadied them in the last couple of minutes, I think. They've built the wall across half-back now. Kyneton were getting out. Once they got it out, they were free-flowing, but they've seemed to have adjusted to the game style, the game speed. And it's actually hard work for the Kyneton defenders. They've been under pump most of the quarter. And, see what happens after this bounce.
Well, the ball probably has been living down that end of the ground for a fair percentage of the quarter, and the Sandhurst Dragons haven't really been able to put it on the scoreboard. Now they've got two. Good play out of the middle. Utica got it. They come forward to Tigers, but it's just a real wasted kick forward. Hood's able to intercept for Sandhurst. Quickly sends it far side on the switch. Finds young Connick. Connick then handballs over the top to a teammate, which is Carraher. Gave it back to Connick. Good run. They go down the far wing. The kick just carried over the top of the pack. It goes inside forward 50. Wharton's down there at the Joel variety. Spills forward. They're really fighting hard for it on the far side of the ground. Umpire's plucked out. I reckon it's a free kick for a dangerous tackle down there. Looked a bit slingy to my liking.
He's slow to get up to the Sandhurst boy.
Yeah, I can't quite see who that is on the far side of the ground, but it was a really strong tackle. And it's been penalised as a free kick to Sandhurst right underneath the scoreboard.
It's Lockie Zimmer, and he's actually going to have to give the footy up. He's given it to Hosking because he looks very sore. He's limping.
Yeah,
Might
he's very
be-
ginger.
In fact, it's Nick Stagg.
Nick Stagg, yep.
They look the same, those two lads. But Stagg, that would be a big loss. As the ball goes inside, really deep hard against the boundary line. And Matt Thornton has taken a big, strong pack mark in front of the eyes, and he'll line them up. And he's standing right next to the fence, so he has to pay admission to get back in.
He does. It's a very good mark under extreme pressure.
Don't they give pass outs down here in Kyneton?
Yeah, now he's going to go around the body, he's going to go around on the left. He only took one step and he kicked it out of bounds on the full, no score.
Almost harder to kick that out of bounds on the full than it would be to even make a score. And he really, that's definitely didn't get his angles right there.
It's probably a fraction ambitious, one would say, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, ambition and capabilities mixed up there for the big fella.
Well, he probably couldn't do a lot else because it's a pretty deep pocket, isn't it?
They are deep pockets down here.
Now, they're just waiting for the footy to be brought back in. Tigers just seem to be camping that deep in that back pocket a lot for the Tigers defensively, and that's a long kick. It'll go to the back of the pack, but it's all Dragons. Hoskin, he gives it off to right. They'll build again. It's a long kick inside forward 50, and the mark's been taken hard up against the line, and they're going to get another look at it, and it will be through, is it Carraher that's got the footy? I reckon it is, and he'll line them up on the other side of the ground.
The half-back line, they've been good. Coghlan, Wharton, Zimmer, they've been pretty good in the last sort of 5 to 10 minutes.
Geez, he made it work. That was a really good kick from the boundary line. It snuck in for a minor score. So Sandhurst go to 2-4-16, Kyneton 1-2-8. Almost 20 minutes gone, opening turn.
It'll be brought back into play for the Tigers. They chip it short. Finding a teammate there. They've been able to chip the ball across this real pocket, but they haven't really been able to get any further. They're forced to switch again. Dangerous ball with the switch. It's going to be marked in the end. They're able to work the ball out the far side of the ground. Now they've got some space out the back if Manuel can get it. It bounces for Manuel. Will it sit for him? It does. He has to steady because he's got no one ahead of the ball. Fires the handball off. Now the Tigers can work in. Handball to himself. They're looking to try and get going, but there's just Sandhurst players everywhere down in defence. And they're going to get out of trouble here. Fire out a handball wide, but it's smothered and over the boundary line again by Manuel. They got the ball over the back. They streamed forward, but just had no one to kick to, Wixie.
Yeah, I don't think Paul Chapman will be happy with that. Obviously, their midfield was sitting in the middle having a rest because there were 4 Sandhurst blokes.
Interesting start at Tannery Lane. The Storm are away to a flyer. They lead 4-2-26 to Golden Square. Yet hit the scoreboard in a major way. They are one behind, so 25-point margin at Tannery Lane. Inside forward 50 we are for the Tigers. They've been attacking early in this term, and then in the late half of it, it's been all the Dragons. At the back door is Hosking, receives a handball, gives it to Curnow. Dragons will build off half-back. Hurried kick around the bottom. It's Joel Wharton now got his hands on the footy. Geez, he looks lean, Joel Wharton, at the moment. He's really looks like on the off-season he's done some work on his fitness, but he never used to have to anyway because they did call him Skinny Wharton. As hands and knees, receiving a handball now will be Walsh. Walsh to Hosking, who's racking up the possessions. He goes to Zimmer. Zimmer will go further afield to Curnow. Curnow of the Dragons inside forward 50. Juggling mark. His target was right and found him, and Dragons will get another look at goal.
Good ball movement again. They've sorted themselves out there, as I said a couple of minutes ago. It's going to be hard work for the Kyneton defence to cut them off if the midfield aren't getting down and helping.
And out at Canterbury Park, famous Canterbury Park, Eagle Hawk are leading that game by 44 points already against Maryborough. So it's going to be a long afternoon for the Magpies, one would think. Right here at the showgrounds, pops another one through for the Dragons. So they found their feet, the Dragons now. They extend the lead and they'll go to 3-4-22. They are leading the Tigers 1-2-8. 22 minutes gone, second turn.
Last 2 passages of play, boys, have showed that the Kyneton midfield aren't working hard enough to get down and help the defence. And also before, get down and be a number in the forward line. So they're going to start working a bit hard, maybe rotate a few of the boys if they're feeling it.
Yeah, they're really starting to get on top around the grounds, and Kyneton probably doing a reasonable job of holding the ball down there, but when they get it out, they've just got nothing, and it's just going to keep coming in all day. It's certainly got danger signs written over it, and ball goes up in the middle, lying up, able to knock it to ground. Now they get the ball through the middle, they're going to have a bounce, then they'll send it inside forward 50. That comes from Manuel. Target down there, unable to take the mark. Ball spills to the top of the pack. They fire a handball, comes to Quinn. Quinn's kick was smothered. Still Tigers in there. Little forward kick off the ground was Foreman. Ball goes towards the point post. I thought it might have hit the point post, but the umpire said it went through for a minor score. It's through rushed. So Kyneton get another score. 1-3-9, Sandhurst 3-4-22. 23 minutes played in the opening quarter.
So Curnow received the kick from fullback. He spread it wide by a handball. Now, Hood's everywhere as well. His kick is beyond 50, but it's been intercepted by the Tigers, and they'll look to bring it back the other way from whence it came. We're on the centre wing. Long kick.
Again, no movement forward of the footy.
No, it's pretty crowded in there, isn't it? A lot of Dragons players around the footy. Curnow, hands and knees, shovels it out and finds a teammate in Wilkinson. He goes short. Finds James Coughlin. Just not sure what to do with the footy. Along the line, he goes down the wing. It drifts. Thornton got his hands on the footy. Spills to the back of the pack. Stagg has recovered from that ankle. Shovels the ball over the top to Zimmer. Zimmer of the Dragons, inside forward 50, losing his feet. It was Niall. Niall then an awkward looking kick towards the boundary line. Tigers under pressure. We're 20 metres out from goal. It's a hurried handball towards the boundary line. Some good work by Hosking. Hosking shovels it out to, it looks like Wharton as well. That's Alex. Alex put it towards goal, and it's all Tigers, and there's a defensive mark being taken right up hard against the point post.
Crozier.
Sends it down the line. A target down there is Summers. Couldn't get to the front of the pack and intercepted. It's a mark to Sandhurst, which has been taken by Wilkinson. Push in the back. Pushed in the back. So Summers, who was the target, is going to end out with it in the end. He chips a short ball over the top. Almost a hospital kick in the end, but it found its way to Sean. He comes wide. Quinn is the target there. He's been good for the Tigers. Quinn right in front of the grandstand here at the Kyneton Showgrounds. Quinn goes down the line. High ball inside 50. Manuel will fly. Couldn't quite get to it. Spills to the ground. Here's McGee. McGee handballs for Manuel. Can he keep it in play? He did. But meeting him in a strong tackle to knock him over the line was Bryce Curnow, and we'll have a throw-in in the forward pocket at the Kyneton town end of the ground here in this one. We've played 25 minutes in the opening quarter. The Dragons 22 lead the Tigers 9.
Bathe in sunshine here, the Showgrounds. Umpire will throw it in. He's 49 metres out from the Tigers' goal. Oh, it's a good throw, this one. It goes longer than some of the kicks from some of the players. A hurried kick by Hosking by the Dragons to the wing. That went 50 metres. Tigers, can they bounce off the wing? Into the middle it spills. Ugly bit of play. Just shoveling the ball along the ground. A lot of players around the footy. Noel trying to get involved with the Dragons. It spills towards Zimmer. Zimmer! Overzealous tackle it was on a Tigers player, looks like, with the footy. Is Fisher, who's been pretty good, and he'll spread it wide. And now the Tigers away to Utica, and that's Jordan again.
So Utica's got it. Got a bit of time. Has a bounce. Then chips it. Oh, it's a real wasted ball inside forward 50, and it goes straight down the throat of James Coughlin, who quickly plays on, sends it out to Cooper Smith on the far wing.
Smith, he goes long down the wing. It's spotted up Montague. Montague, first real open possession, usually finds space. Back to Smith. Cooper Smith inboard. They'll look to come corridor. Noah Walsh receives. Dragons looking to attack to half forward. They've got players lining up everywhere. Long ball. In fact, it was a short ball. The initial movement was to go long and just sold a little bit of candy, and Niall was standing in a really good position, spotted him up and 40 out from goal. Another look at it for the Dragons.
Just opened up nicely here for Sandhurst, and they're using the ball well too, which isn't giving the back line much of a chance to do any interceptions. Yeah,
Cooper Smith come off half-back then. He had 2 or 3 possessions that were just telling, and they looked to come corridor, didn't they?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at Jacob Niall. What's his leg like? It's right. It swings in the breeze. I reckon he might have snuck it through. They like it on the line, and it is. It's a goal to Jacob Niall. So 4-4 now. 28 the Dragons, 1-3-9 Tigers, 27 minutes gone. Opening term footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
As I said a few minutes ago too, boys, the ball use of Sandhurst has really picked up from the first sort of 5 to 10 minutes of that quarter. And it's not giving Kyneton defence much of a chance. And the half-back line of Sandhurst, as you said, Cooper Smith, etc., are starting to take control of this game.
So we go back into the middle. The Tigers probably really need the next one, you feel, or the quarter time siren. It's an easy clearance out of there in the end from Hosking, who caught it. Spun around, send it forward, but it didn't find anyone in particular. Quinn's got it for the Tigers. High ball, Turno will fly for Sandhurst, and he'll take a really strong mark. Umpires plucked out a holding the man free kick, which is going to go the way of the Tigers. Turno's not happy with the decision, but the Tigers have got it out here. They chip short and find Quinn. Quinn's got it. 55 out from home, right in front of us here. Chips into the pocket. Again, a wasted ball inside forward 50 is the story of the Tigers' day. And Darcy Mills takes an intercept mark on his chest. Just their ball use going inside forward 50 has been really let down, Wixie, when they've had that opportunity.
It has.
To the wing. Big punch from Noel. Getting his hands on the footy, getting involved. Carraher might have got one high. He's got the helmet on. Spills to Coughlin. He goes by hand there away through Matthew Wilkinson. Wilkinson to the Dragons. He goes to forward 50, but it spills wide towards the boundary line. Picked up by Dragons again. It'll be another forward thrust, but just lost the footy at the last moment. Now Tigers will look to come back the other way. They crop it up. Montague getting involved. Dragons, an underground handball. It was effective. He gives it off to Wilkinson. Wilkinson running for him. Shotgun has a firing shot at goal. Minor score only though. And another minor score for the Dragons. 4-5-29. They lead Kyneton 1-3-20. 20-point margin. Opening term, 29 minutes gone. Footy fresh. Here's Bendigo Football Live.
So the Tigers will bring the ball back into play. They're just going to send it long. Not quite straight down the middle, but not on the far wing. Manuel at the back of the pack was unable to take it. Sandhurst will fire it forward. 55 out from home. Pack of players around it. Few appeals for holding the ball. Nothing doing. Sandhurst get the ball at the back. They fire a handball wide. Now they're going to get a running shot on goal. Low, steady ball is to the right-hand side. And another minor. They've been wasteful when they've had their chances here, the Dragons. They could be further in front, you feel, in this one. 4-6-30. Kyneton 1-3-9 as we approach quarter time here at the Kyneton Showgrounds.
Yeah, after a good strong start, the Tigers, they're just starting to feel the heat and the pressure by the running game of the Dragons. It's a long kick from fullback by the Tigers. Up they go. At the rear of the pack, Summers was the target. Couldn't find him. They've got numbers as the siren goes here. For quarter time, 1-3-9 to 4-6-30. And as I said, the Sandhurst Dragons really come into the play in that second half of the opening term. So, quarter time here. It's, in fact, we'll just have a look at Eagle Hawk. Eagle Hawk 7-2-44. They are leading Maryborough. They are yet to score. Also, the Storm. Interesting was out there at Tannery Lane. 4-2-26 lead Golden Square. One behind. It's quarter time here at the Kyneton Showgrounds. Sandhurst 4-6-30. They lead Kyneton 1-3-9. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
It's all about the local footy. It's all about the music.
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home.
Only one local radio station for live local footy. Only one local station supporting live community sport across central Victoria. The people out walking know, even bus drivers know. And you know, it's Bendigo's Fresh.
Live Saturday afternoon local football. Only one station. Supporters know, coaches and players know. And you know, it's Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live. Quarter time here at the Kyneton Showgrounds, where Sandhurst have got hold of this one at the moment. They are 4-6-30. They lead the Kyneton Tigers 1-3-9. John Hunter joining you this afternoon with Cameron Power and Paul Wicks. Wayne Smith is doing a lot of good work for us this season, and quarter time at North Bendigo. They are 6-2-38. They are leading LBU Lockington Beaumont United 5-1-31. Also, the Eagle Hawk seniors, they are, well, they're taking it to Maryborough at the moment, 7-2-44 rather. Maryborough are yet to score, and the Storm out at Tannery Lane, 26, they are 4-2-26. Golden Square are one behind. Goal kickers in this game, single goal scorer to Kyneton, who started off well, Manuel has one. Wright for Sandhurst has two, and singles to James Coughlin and Jacob Nile.
Looking at some of the better players so far in this game for the Dragons, Lockie Wright has kicked two. He was quite impressive leading up at the footy, being a good option inside the forward there. I reckon Bryce Curno's been really good across half back. He's obviously got that set up down defence really well for Sandhurst, because Kyneton going forward, as much as their kicking hasn't been great, they haven't had many options to be able to chip in because of how well they have been set up down there, and he's really the main reason that setup is so well. Hamish Hosking, he would probably be the leading disposal getter on the ground at the moment. Doing everything, doing his own clearances and his own ruck work for the Dragons, for the Tigers, Paul.
Yeah, look, unfortunately for Kyneton, their better players are backline players, which doesn't really lend well to yourself. But Caleb Fisher's working hard down there. Mason Crazy's been pretty good under extreme pressure. Manuel and Thomas Quinn have been actually pretty good across half forward and a couple of times in the midfield when they've had a chance. And Harrison Sheen working hard across half back. But skill errors and turnovers are killing Kyneton at the minute.
I think the way you summarise the game is how you're saying that the better players for Kyneton have been all backline players, because the fair percentage of that game was really spent down there. But when Kyneton did get the ball over the back, they just weren't able to execute going forward. If
you're given best players and most of them are in the back line, give you a fair indication of what the scoreboard's going to tell you too.
Well, the one thing that I think Chappie would be really getting into the boys is they're only 21 points down for as bad, well, not so much as bad as they were, but for how much dominance Sandhurst had in the quarter. They only managed to put 4 goals and a 3-goal lead on them, so it is not all doom and gloom. 3 goals you can turn around in a space like that, so one good quarter of footy and they're right back in this game.
The difference in the skills was, that was their worlds apart, and I think the couple of times that there hasn't been two-way running, which will probably worry Chappie. I mean, I think quarter time and they're actually tied signs by a couple of the midfielders, which is pretty early on in the game for that to happen.
So back in the middle here, second quarter is about to get underway. It is the Dragons leading this one by 21 points over the Tigers. Here's John Hunter.
Hosking wins the tap for the Dragons. Taps it down to 2 players who fight over the footy. One's a Tiger and one's a Sandhurst Dragons. It was nice work by Carrahurt. Now Hosking, in fact, all won the tap. It'll be the Tigers. All received a handball. He'll handball forward. It was Paul. Paul Pratt picks it up for the Dragons, then lost it. Cooper Smith and Wilkinson getting involved to the back door. Hood kicks it long for the Dragons. Coughlin did well. In fact, Wharton did well for the Dragons. A big defensive punch. Or for the Tigers, he'll pick it up. Series of handballs ended up with Fisher. Fisher now goes into the middle. It's Hosking. Hosking's had a lot of the footy. Tigers through Strawn. He did well. Shoveled ball out. Or had a little bit of a look then. Crozier. He was okay though. He's got safety in numbers. Handball to Utica. Utica goes. They were sharing it. There's 2 brothers out there. Now goes inside forward 50. but it is all with the Dragons. The Dragons will repel, and away is Noah Walsh.
Walsh has got it, feeds off a handball to a teammate, and they're straight down the middle of the showgrounds. One bounce, two bounces. They go towards the top of the goals. It's a really long goal, and he's got it. Cooper Smith has kicked an absolute beauty straight through the middle, and that was far too easy for the Dragons. And they continue where they left off in the first quarter. They've got their fifth. They move to 5-6-36. The Tigers 1-3-9. Terrific goal coming from Smith.
Pretty much summed it up what we said at quarter time. That was just a shank around the corner kick to a Kyneton bloke who was out of position, marked. Good kick inside, which just opened it right up. Quick hands to Noah Walsh.
Great composure from Noah Walsh too.
It was. He held on to it just that split second longer to open it up and give his player more space.
Or wins a tap for the Tigers. Good strong tackling, Paul Pratt in the middle. We'll do it all again. So you'd be pleased if you're the coaching staff at the Dragons. Tap by Hosking. Gives it now to Connick. Connick goes inside forward 50. Big punch from behind. Tigers did well. Montague gets his hands on the footy as well for the Dragons. Offering support through Tigers. The back line is Ethan Turner. And in fact, umpire Goodridge said, I might adjudicate here. Is he going to give a free kick or is he going to ball it up?
He wasn't happy that they didn't give him the ball back. Someone threw it away.
He was pretty quick with the whistle, but I don't mind that as long as he's decisive. Or wins the tap. Tigers off half back now. Long kick by Youngans. Youngans poor kick. Alex Wharton, or it's Curnow, in fact, intercepts. They've both got the ball melon as the ball goes long inside forward 50 again for the Dragons.
You'd hope they've got plenty of sunscreen on those two as the ball spills out to the back of the pack. Dragons fire a little ball forward, trying to get on the end of it. Down there is Zimmer, unable to do it. The Tigers might be able to recover. Huntley, a little bit of a worm burner of a kick wide, but there's plenty of pressure coming from the Dragons, and I think Kyneton are happy to see that one over the boundary line, and it'll be thrown in the far forward pocket here at the Kyneton Showgrounds. The Kyneton Town end of the ground, which is the way that the Sandhurst Dragons are attacking early in this second quarter.
You've got to be able to hit a target when you're coming out of defence unopposed. You've got to be able to hit that 15-metre target.
Kyneton's general kicking around the 15-metre kicks, it hasn't been great today, Wixie.
No.
36 playing 9. Thornton does a ruck work for the Dragons. Hurried kick out of the pack by Utica for the Tigers. Beyond 50 now. Connick. Handball to the back door. It was neat. Goes to Smith. Smith to the Dragons to the top of the square. Repelling again is Utica. Geez, they're lucky they got him down there. Short pass. Comden for the Tigers. Back pocket. He's a bit unsure where to go. Eventually dumps it down the line. 50-metre ball. Back of the pack. Island. Fist on the footy. Dragons did well. Shoveling handball. Hood receives. Dragons will now attack again inside forward 50. Didn't really look. Hits it to the pack. Ground level. Zimmer tries to pick it up. Does. He's got fleet of foot. Then he goes round the body very nimbly. It'll go to the top of the square. They'll set themselves. Huntley had his hands on the footy Tigers. Thornton tackled well Dragons. Incorrect disposal. Free kick Tigers.
Good pressure there.
It was a great tackle in the end. Not O'Pryor, but he just dropped the ball when he was tackled. So they chip it to the tip of the goal square. Huntley, he comes wide and finds Turner. Two players that Kyneton need to get their ball in their hands. Turner's turned it over and it's gone straight to Walsh. Walsh picks it off and Walsh steadies and goals from 15 out directly in front. And Kyneton's kicking worries around the ground are becoming a real concern in this one. Sandhurst get another. They move to 6-6-42 and they start to put a very handy lead into this game. The Tigers are 1-3-9. We've played 5 minutes in the second quarter here at the Kyneton Showgrounds.
When they had the ball in the back pocket, I was about to say that this next kick is the one they're having trouble with, and I didn't even get a chance to say it before it was Shank turned over and an easy goal to Walsh.
He's been really impressive, Noah Walsh. He's just got that little bit of pace about him where he can burn players, or his composure's really good.
And find space.
Yeah, slows it up when he has to. Really smart young footballer.
Canterbury Park, Eagle Hawk, 14-4-88. Lead Maryborough 1-1-7. So getting ugly there at Canterbury Park as Foreman takes a mark on half forward for the Tigers.
Kyneton player down in the middle of the ground too.
Foreman, left footer, into the pocket, honours a lead. Curnow, probably an unrealistic attempt, and it was. Gives away a free kick, so the Tigers will get a free kick and it'll go to Jake Summers.
Just a wide kick into the pocket though too, John. Like he's probably would have been better off coming straight up the ground.
Golden Square 2-1-13 trail the Storm 5-3-33 at Tannery Lane. As we'll come back and have a look at this kick. Hard up against the boundary line. It's kind of shaped this ground though you can kick them from that pocket. It's a little bit deeper. Let's see what my geography's like. It's near the scoreboard. He takes 1, 2 steps and kicks a minor score. But, geez, he made good work of it. So, extending, it's here 6-6-42 to 1-4-10, the Tigers. So it's a 32-point margin. Footy fresh is Bendigo Footy Live.
So Sandhurst spring it in. They chip out into the pocket in the hands of Smith, who's been good for them, the Dragons. Forced to switch back across the ground into the hands of Curnow. If you get the ball in his hands, why wouldn't you? He then sends it wide. Player on the far side of the ground, Island, puts his hands up to try and protect his eyes from the sun. Lost the ball momentarily. Then just put the ball on the ground when he was tackled. Umpire lets them play. Might have been a bit fortunate there. Still the Dragons. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Umpire circling, and eventually says, I will have it.
Probably pretty lucky there, Cam. I don't think he can just get tackled and put the ball down.
No, it looked like a rugby player trying to go for a try at one stage there, but umpire let him play. Hosking was able to get an uncontested run at the ball to take it. Comes out wide. Carraher's got it. Sends it forward. Teammate unable to take the mark. Ball spilling around top of 50. Kyneton have got the numbers. Can they work it out? Dragons probably first to the footy though. Barrelling through was Wharton. Umpire is given a free kick, I'm guessing, for a hold, which will go the way of the Tigers.
So Tigers through Johns. Johns will kick it long down the line on the wing. Up they go. They'll set themselves to the back of the pack. The target was Foreman. Runs after the footy. Carraher picks up for the Dragons. Then he fumbled. Then might have been a little throw. He's allowed to get away with it. Connick received, and then he goes an up and under kick to Joel Wharton. Joel Wharton takes a mark. Skinny Wharton. Now he looks inboard. A rare right footer. He goes short. Finds Cooper Smith. Further afield, Curnow takes a bounce after 2 steps. He's asking his forwards to come forward, and they honour it's Matty Thornton. It was like a training drill. He hit him between the eyes, and Matty Thornton will line them up 30 metres out directly in front for his real first shot at goal.
And that's what's happening. Kyneton are getting forced down the line. They're just getting at the back of the ball, setting up better, coming back into the middle, and then it's basically training drill straight down the middle of the ground. Worlds apart the way they're using the ball, and Kyneton have got to try something different, otherwise the game's gone. They've got to be the ones that chip it across into the middle and change direction and try and put Sandhurst off their game.
So Matty Thornton to the city end. He's usually a good, reliable kick and doesn't make a mistake on that occasion. So he's first for the afternoon. Sandhurst, they've got this one by the teeth at the moment. We're only 9 minutes in the second term. Sandhurst leads 7-6-48. The Tigers are stuck on 1-4-10. Footy fresh is Bendigo Footy Live.
Is it too late to change me tip? Because I think Kyneton are cooked in this one, the way it's going.
Yeah, no, they've just got to get their ball moved. They've got to try something different. As I said, they're just getting forced down the line. Sandhurst is setting up at the back of the contest, getting the ball running off. Quick kick into the middle.
Just the basic skills from Kyneton around the grounds. Hitting those 15-metre targets hasn't been their thing today. It's been not great. Hosking gets it, fires it wide out of the middle. He's really doing it uncontested in the middle at the moment. They send it forward, the Dragons. Chasing after it down there will be Coughlin. Unable to get it. Comes out wide. Handball into the middle. It's the big fella again. He sends it inside forward 50, but it should be an easy defensive mark for Kyneton. He made it look a bit harder than it needed to be, but it was Harry Huntley. Quickly plays on. Sends it wide in front of us here in the commentary position. Comden's got it. Chips down the line. Bouncing ball. Bounced nicely for Sheehan, who's forced to then come backwards. And he finds Caleb Fisher.
Fisher, short pass.
Oh,
awkward kick.
That's that 15-metre kick, Wixie, that I'm talking about. Just those basic errors. That's a 15-metre uncontested kick, and the ball spills over, and Sandhurst get to reset up.
If you can't hit a 15-metre target, you're better off just kicking it 50 and turning it over 50 metres down the line.
Yeah, it was just a basic skill error. It come off his instep as we're across half forward. The Dragons attack. Now Noah Walsh. He collects to Cooper Smith. He's got too much time and too much space on the left. You'll look for Thornton again. Thornton just propped and let it bounce. Now Coughlin swoops on it. This is James. Bouncing ball into the goal squares, looking for Niall. Only 5 metres out from goal. They need to be careful here, Tigers. Dragons are swooping from left, right and centre as they all converge on the footy. Umpire blows his whistle and will ball it up. Only 5 metres out. Dragons attack city end. And it is a big margin, 32-point margin, the Dragons lead.
So ball up, top of the goal square. Kyneton might be able to work this one out through Randall. Just dumps it out of there. Might be coming back, though, as the Dragons have got the numbers at the back. Island overran the footy a little bit. Try to fire it forward. Manuel's going through for the Tigers. unable to take it cleanly for the Dragons. They then managed to work it forward. Ireland's got it. Handball over the top to a teammate. It's with Montague. Montague, easy ball inside forward 50, and Lockie Wright leads out, takes another chest mark. Will go back. They'll have to kick it from right on the paint of 50 when he strikes it. He's already got 2 in the game, and based on his kicking for goal in the last quarter, I reckon you could nearly put this one down.
Yep, and you'd also, geez, you'd give anything to be Sandhurst forward at the minute, wouldn't you? Zero pressure coming in, and right out in front, let you run onto it.
Lockie Wright comes in, will kick from right on the paint. Not much of an angle, steps in on the right, fires it goalwards. Well, I'd already penciled it in, and there was no reason that I needed to grab a rubber because it went straight through. And they get their 8. 8-4-54, the Dragons. Kyneton 1-4-10. It is a 44-point margin. 11 minutes into the second quarter here at the Kyneton Showgrounds.
Cooper Smith and Caleb Connick are doing what they want off the back flank / coming off the wing. They're setting up all this play down there, finding Noah Walsh in the middle. And I watched the 2 Kyneton half forwards just sitting back watching. That's why the game's turned zero pressure.
South Bendigo, the Bloods at quarter time lead Kangaroo Flat 4-2-26 to 3-4-22. So a competitive Kangaroo Flat as Sandhurst are doing what they like through the middle here. It was an inside 50 ball by Walsh, but repelling now, won the footy was Harrison Huntley. The Tigers got upended, umpire agreed. Brody Montague said it just gave him a little bit of a clip. Umpire Goodridge agreed. And a free kick will go the way of Francis Randall.
So downfield, Randall's got it, steps in, fires it inside forward 50 for the Tigers. No one really down there. Strong mark in the end. That's a terrific grab from Noah Walsh, floating in, takes the mark in front of the pack, quickly gets up, fires it down the wing, but the kick's probably to a 3-on-1 advantage of Kyneton. They work it out. Udika's got it. This is Lucas, fires it wide. Oh, tried to pick up the ball, and they were unable to get it. That was Strawham out there. Sandhurst have then turned it over, sent it forward. They've just got numbers everywhere, demanding it inside forward 50 there of the Dragons. It goes in the direction of Thornton. It was punched away at the last second. It fell to Montague, who gave it back. They chip it wide, and this is really strong footy. And a mark is taken by Nick Stagg. No one mans the mark. Stagg plays on and kicks a goal. Wow, no one mans the mark. Doesn't force him to have the set shot, and he just says thank you very much and puts it through. 9-6-60 now, the Dragons. They are 50 points clear in this one. Certainly not what I was expecting in this contest. 13 minutes into the second quarter. A very disappointing Kyneton side, 1-4-10.
Yeah, look, this is, it's actually unravelled pretty quickly, hasn't it? They're not chasing. They're not running, they're not chasing. And even when they do get a 50 metre down the ground like they did, kick into a pack of Sandhurst blokes. No, none of the forwards are on the move. Probably because they can't predict how the ball's going to come to them. So,
well, Francis Randall should be dragged for that because the Tigers, I watched him. He was watching along with me. He watched Stagg just walk off and waltz into the goal square. There was really lack of defensive pressure. So Tigers disappointing at the moment. James Orr gets a free kick, the big ruckman for the Tigers. Goes to half forward, spots up Bailey McGee. McGee now into the forward pocket. He's got a hard-running Manuel who takes a mark on the chest. And he'll get a look at goal because they've stagnated at 1-4-10 for feels like forever. But he's on a pretty tight angle and he's going to be 50 where he kicks it from underneath the scoreboard.
Paul Chapman's come down from the box, mate, and he's standing at the interchange bench. I reckon he's waiting there for someone to have a chat to him when they come off, mate.
Well, I reckon it would be Francis Randall.
Well, it's not him. He's just walked straight past him, so we'll see who the next one comes off.
Yeah, the defensive pressure is just not there. You need defensive pressure, even though if you're getting flogged, you still got to make the effort, which it's a minor score. So Tigers going to go to 1-5-11. They lead 9-6-60. We've gone halfway through this second term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Footy Live.
It looks like him and Ethan Foreman down there on the bench having a bit of a discussion about the way things are going. Foreman, of course, a very experienced senior player back at the Tigers this year. Meanwhile, back on the ground, the Dragons have worked it all the way up to centre half forward with pretty much ease. Tigers will then turn it over. Fisher's got it. Chipped it into the middle. Found Comden. Couldn't quite control it. Carraher's got it. Hosking. Walsh wasn't even looking, but he's able to turn around and pick up the ball. Feeds off the handball to a teammate. It's taken by Coughlin. Fires it in. Dangerous spot. Thornton will fly. Couldn't quite take it. Tigers got numbers at the drop of the ball. They'll work it out through Jordan Udika.
Udika by hand. Oh, it's nervous. He received the 0-1-2 back. Runs to 50 defensively, Udika, and then he puts it wide to the wing. His target was Manuel. Got his hands on the ball. Comes off the hands, though, and goes over the boundary line. Ball in. outer side wing. 1-5-11 Tigers. They trail 9-6-60. Dragons, well, they're impressive, but they've been allowed to run and run right. Tigers just need to lift their defensive game. Up they go in the ruck. It'll be Orr against Hosking. Hosking got his hands on the footy, puts it to the front of the pack. Again, off hands, ball in, outer side wing. 11 playing 60, footy fresh is Bendigo footy live.
They chip it forward, but again, not much doing. Sandhurst will pounce on the turnover. Ball just really bouncing around in the pack. The Tigers eventually get it and send it forward. Ball spills out the back of the pack, and Marks, rather fortunately, has been taken. And, well, to say this is a must go back and kick for goal be an understatement. A chance here for a very rare side on goal for the Tigers. 35 out with not too much of an angle. Is it Thomas Quinn down there? A bit of argy-bargy going on in the middle here. Umpire telling him to calm things down. And the Tigers will line up for goal. 35 out, not much of an angle. Quinn, can he go back and give the Tigers something? Steps in, fires at goalwards and converts. So a much needed goal for the Tigers, their second. And we get a little bit of a roar out of the crowd here. The Tigers, well, now they've got one. Can they look to put a couple in a row on the board? 2-5-17, Sandhurst 9-6-60, 18 minutes gone, second quarter here at the Kyneton Showgrounds.
Good goal against the whole game trend, I suppose, John, but what you did say about lift their defensive pressure, well, they got the double dip all wrong, because once they're getting it and they're defending well, then they're just turning it over with basic skill errors. So, you know, if they've got to tidy up one area, they've got to tidy it both up, mate, or they'll just continually turn it over.
Yeah, it's just there's been defensive efforts. I've named a couple of players already, but defensive efforts by the Tigers I just don't like. They need to be stronger, and they're just letting the whole. And this is one of them, Noah Walsh, who's got it now in the middle. Handballs over the top to Hosking. He's running right as well, even though Orr's done pretty well. But they're sharing it around at will. Hosking receives another handball at left half forward. He'll go looking for Thornton, who's deep in the pocket. Might have been a little bit of a falcon off his chin there, and goes out of bounds and 15 metres around from goal. In fact, it might have been out of bounds on the full. So Tigers now, free kick, short pass dangerously received. Youngen's got it with the footy, deep in his defensive zone.
Yeah, I thought Montague was a strong chance of intercepting that one then, but it was well done by Youngham's, who sends it wide to a teammate. Now they come down the wing. Right in front of us here in our broadcast position. Johns has sent it down the line, and I think it's going to be, wow, that is off the ball, and Hamish Youngham's has dealt with, I think it's Paul Pratt off the ball, and the umpire has said bring it back, and it is going to go the way of Zach Paul Pratt for a free kick.
He dishes it off to Wharton. This is Alex. He puts it to the top of the square looking for Thornton. Zimmer, he was front and centre. Good roving work. Little tap. It was clever by Thornton to Nile, but the Tigers see it over to with Sheen.
You just have your set shot there, don't you?
Nervous, though, it was by the Tigers. Golden Square coming back 5-2-32. They trail the Storm 6-7-43 at Tannery Lane. And Eagle Hawk out at famous Canterbury Park 15-7-97. The Borough lead Maryborough 1-1-7.
All wins it down out of the middle, but it's all Dragons. They send it wide. That was Paul Pratt. Chip into the pocket. Target there, Stagg. Has given away a free kick, and it's going to go the way of the Tigers. So far side pocket here, Kyneton Town end of the ground. No movement at all as Wixie puts his hands up to signal someone give him something out there. They just bomb it down the line. Sandhurst will happily see that one over the boundary line, but they're very stagnant out, aren't they, Paul?
Well, that's it. No point to stand there hailing taxis, mate. No one's going to get a kick hailing a cab. Get back, lead into the space once he's looking at you. Basic stuff that's not happening here.
So 17 playing 60 here at the Showgrounds. Across half forward, left half forward. Dragons are attacking. Umpire will throw it up. It'll be Hosking who's doing well, but Orr, he grabbed it out of the air quickly. He probably hurried his kick. He didn't realise he had time and space. Outer side wing, contested footy, ground level. There needs to be a whistle on play, and there is, and we'll have a ball up. True centre wing, outer side, 17 playing 60, and we've gone 20 minutes have ticked over in the second term. Footy fresh is Bendigo footy live.
Umpire balls it up. Going up, unable to win it down was Orr. Hosking's had a great game. They fire it forward, the Dragons. And they're just able to go backwards to be able to go forwards, and they've got plenty of options. Short ball inside. leading out at it, unable to take the ball. Kyneton will try and force a turnover, which they do. Now they've got a bit of run through the middle. Good pick-up. Sending it inside forward 50 was McGee, looking for a teammate, but it is well read by the Dragons and an intercept mark. They're able to chip it down the line and find Curnow.
In fact, it is Curnow. Curnow might be Alex Wharton, in fact. Alex Wharton goes to Paul Pratt. Paul Pratt on the wing. They look to go corridor all the times, the Dragons, to Connick. Connick smack bang in the middle of the showgrounds. Awkward looking ball.
Oh.
It was inside forward 50. Probably a little bit fortunate in the end, but a mark's been taken by Lachlan Wright, and he gets a look at his 4th goal for the afternoon.
Do you reckon we can get Curnow or one of those two to do something with their hair?
Well,
It's making it hard for us.
yeah, they've both got the ball noggin.
The old skinheads.
They look alike when
What do
they
they call
move
them?
too.
Toe ball heads.
Oh, is it? That's news to me. Lockie Wright now.
Wixie would know.
City
Got the
end.
same haircut.
50 out from goal. Good kick. And just swings wide. I thought it was home for a moment, but no cigar. A minor score for the Dragons. 9-7-61 Dragons, Kyneton 2-5-17. 22 minutes gone. Footy fresh is Bendigo Footy Live.
So they chip it in. Johns has got it. Back pocket for the Tigers. Again, not much going down the line, so he just decides to send it down the line. All get a fly and able to take it. Spills to the back of the pack. Walsh fires out a handball wide, which is Cooper Smith. Cooper Smith sends it inside forward 50, but Kyneton will be able to hold a defensive mark. And that man that has taken it is Harrison Huntley. So Huntley's got it. Forward pocket. Again, nothing moving down the ground really for Kyneton. He's forced to go back into the goal square and find a teammate. And they're just going to come backwards, and Huntley's got it again. So we're back where we were. 30 seconds have been wasted, and the Tigers haven't moved the ball at all. Oh, Huntley's ball was okay, but dropping the mark was Sastrom. Sastrom's then able to recover, fire it wide. They get a handball now, a little bit of run. Coming through, that was Crozier. They send it up the line. Crozier's got it, then he handballs wide. Chipping down the line. Can the Tigers try and get something going? They've got it on the far wing.
So the footy, looks like Sheen. In fact, it might be McGee with the footy. Short pass, outer side wing. They'll look to build here, receiving as Randall. Randall now will turn and go on the right. It's a short pass into the pocket to Paul Kick. He's kicked it straight to the opposition.
It's like he led for him then.
Yeah, that's the story of the afternoon. It's Connick of the Dragons to Noah Walsh. Spots up Walsh of the Dragons, outer side wing. Scoreboard side. Walsh, who's racking up the possessions. Short pass. Spots up right. Right. He's had a good afternoon, hasn't he?
I've liked his game so far, Lockie Wright.
Yeah, he's kicked 3 and he's had a good look at a couple of them. He'll come corridor again. Curnow receives of the Dragons. Defensive side of the wing. Outer side. Directing traffic. Now he goes. It'll be a long kick to half forward. Sets himself. Target was Wright. He took a good strong mark. Wright, 70 out from goal. He turns and goes to the hot spot. Thornton's the target. Is that a whistle on play? They stopped for a minute. Might have been the netball. In fact, play was allowed to go on. I must have been dreaming things there, Cameron. As they slow down and let it just go over the boundary line, and 10 metres out from goal, we'll have another ball in. Might have been, in fact, the boundary umpire that blew it. Blew it a little bit in anticipation.
Yeah, I heard one.
Oh, I'd like to say I didn't hear one. I heard one too. I wasn't sure, but the players definitely stopped. So, ball thrown in. Everyone goes up, smacking it forward was Orr, unable to come through. There's Kyneton Tigers around the ball. It's picked up by Utica. That's Lucas Utica, who just bang kicks one out of there, and it's intercepted. That's Caleb Connick that's got it. 50 from home. Wheels around, sends it to the hot spot. It's going to be a fly for Thornton. He couldn't quite come down with it. Spills to the pack. Firing out the handball again. It's all Dragons. It now comes out. Firing it towards goal. Might have been Island. And it's going to fire out of bounds on the full. In fact, I actually think it was Zach Paul Pratt. Him and Island are also running a very similar haircut out there today. And it'll be brought back into play by the Tigers.
Fisher, hard up against the point post. City end, broadcast side. Twirls the footy, not sure where to go. He holds it a long time, and then he just dumps it beyond 50. Contest. Curnow is in the middle of the pack, jumping high there. Did well with Summers, got his hands on the footy. Hood, a hurried kick out of the pack for the Dragons, and maybe a fortunate kick, but he was in the right spot, and we're going to have another shot at goal by the Dragons. The man with the footy again is Lachlan Wright, and again, I'll say it, I'm like a broken record, he's having another look at goal.
I don't think for this whole game there's been a contest where there's been a Kyneton player at the back of the contest. Sandhurst have had 2 or 3. and help yourself.
Has every one of his marks in 450 been on the chest too? Hasn't had to really go up and put his hands in front?
Right. Spreads it wide. Another chance gone missing. And he just increases the lead by a minor one. So 9.862 Sandhurst, 2.517 Tigers. 26 minutes gone. Footy fresh is Bendigo, footy live.
The Tigers will bring it in. Probably lucky a little bit that Sandhurst have been a bit wayward for goal in the last 10 minutes. Chipping ball short into the pocket.
This is the next problem.
Yeah,
the next
they
possession.
can get it to here, okay, and then the next one just doesn't seem to go. John switches it across the ground. It's dangerous because Joel Wharton thought he was a chance of intercepting that one then. And Kyneton have got a free. Player on the mark, Wharton, was moving around. You could hear the appeals for 50 from the crowd, but the umpire doesn't give it. They come back into the middle and find Comden. Comden fires off a handball to Caleb Fisher. He then goes down the middle of the ground. Island for Sandhurst. Flew, couldn't quite take the mark. Ball spills down. They knock it forward. Now they've got numbers. Handball going in the Hosking direction. Tigers will then be able to turn over the ball. They fire it wide. Fisher's out there. Sends it as far away and as close to the boundary as he can. A few appeals for deliberate, but you don't see that paid too often down here. We'll have it thrown in.
It's the odd time they've kind of had a bit of run from behind and at least got up to the half back line with a couple of kicks and a bit of run and play.
It's actually insufficient attempt at keeping it in, Cam. It's not deliberate. So we have seen a couple last week. So it is about that rule is certainly in at this level as Curnow takes a mark for the Dragons. He's been good this afternoon. Chest mark out of side wing.
You'd have to raffle off him and Walsh for the two best players on the ground, wouldn't you?
I can actually see the sweat on his bald scone there. That's how good these binoculars are, I'm telling you, Cam, as he goes inside forward 50. You want to have a look through these binoculars, there's something else. Or that might mean that
I wasn't sure where you were going with that for a second there, Johnny.
It might mean that Curnow's been working hard. That's what I was trying to emphasise as his kick went to left half forward. What did you think I was going to say?
Wixie knows.
As Orr picks it up for the Tigers. It was a questionable handball to Utica, but was allowed to get away with it. Tigers now on a half back. Geez, they just look hurried at everything they do. Randall with it. He goes to half forward. They've still got possession over the top as the siren sounds for half time. So Kyneton at half time, 2-5-17 they trail Sandhurst 9-8-62. So other games, Eagle Hawk 17-7-109 versus Maryborough at Canterbury Park 1-2-8. So that game is well and truly over with a long way to go. Also the Storm, interesting out at Tannery Lane. We'll keep a close eye on that. 6-8-44 the Storm. Golden Square 8. That's 6-2-38. So footy fresh is Bendigo footy live.
It's all about the local footy.
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like
Situation I mentioned pre-game that I thought Sandhurst were a very young side, but Noah Walsh, 19 years of age, and you look down, Isaac Carraher, under 20, he might even be 21, 22 at max. Caleb Connick in his first year of senior footy. These guys have been getting on their hands on a lot of the footy. Cooper Smith, he's only a young fella as well, and they're dominating. They are really dominating, and it's noticeable that their run, Kyneton can't keep up with them.
No, well, getting to the back of the contest, see? There's perhaps barely been a contest all day where Kyneton have had 1, 2 or 3 players at the back. At 3 Sandhurst blokes, the names you mentioned are mostly them all the time. They just get it, shoot the handball out and off they go on their merry way. Got to be a bit more accountable, Kyneton. Work harder and use the ball better. Might as well try something, Cam. You're 6, 7 goals down now. No point going down 15 goals without trying something.
You would like to think that, well, what are they going to do differently to get back? If there are any chance of getting back into this contest, what do you think they can do?
Well,
it's just throw caution into the wind and try and take the game on a bit in the second half?
Well, yeah, take it on. I mean, you're only kicking it down the line and getting picked off, so you might as well try and run those lines, break those lines, change direction. As I said, they're happy to change direction across the half-back line, across the deep, down the back pockets. Do the same thing across the centre line. Open it up, then all of a sudden one of your flankers and pockets may have a bit of space.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting to see how this second half does play out. Ball will be thrown in again. Back where we started this passage of play 20 seconds ago. Bit of deja vu about this one, Johnny.
There is. They look a little bit better though, Kyneton, just at the moment. As the ball is thrown in, Hosking wins the tap. Wharton shovels it towards the boundary line. Paul Pratt tracks the balls towards it, but it's all with the Tigers. Picked up by Quinn. He'll go with a banana toward goal, but it slewed across the face and was lucky to sneak in for another minor one for the Tigers. So they go to 3-9-27. Sandhurst 10-70. 16 minutes on third term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Footy Live.
Bryce Curnow just screaming at his players to run on the right-hand side of the ground, then tricked everyone and quickly ran out and gave it to the only player on the left-hand side of the ground, which was Nally. Nally gets it, sends it down the wing. Teammate unable to take the mark. Kyneton will turn the ball over at ground level. That's Fisher. Fisher comes back in board, but it's a poor effort and the kick is turned over. Dragons have got it, and it'll go back to Bryce Curnow. Curnow looking for just something. Does he want to chip it? Does he want to play it around? Comes back into the middle. And he kicks it to his lookalike, which is Alex Wharton. Alex Wharton then fires off the handball back to Curnow. They send it inside forward 50. Wharton got the fly, unable to take it. Ball spills to the ground. Still Sandhurst players out there looking to try and get through. Good tackle by Kyneton, and they're going to get rewarded from holding the ball. And that was good defensive pressure by the Tigers, and they'll tip the ball.
Across, well, deep in the defensive zone from the back pocket, receiving the target. Hit him up was Lucas Utica. He goes to the wing to Quinn. Quinn, well, he's going to be paid a mark. Probably a little bit overzealous by Mills.
No, the umpire called it out of bounds.
He did. I thought it was going to be a mark. So
I thought he had enough of it too. So
in front of the Sandhurst dugout, which is across half forward for the Dragons. Boundary umpire comes in. He'll throw it in. Up they'll go in the ruck. It'll be Hosking versus Orr. Orr has front position. Hosking, though, he was strong through the body, through the hips, and he managed to get free. get on the left and swing it wide into the pocket. His target was Niall. A little bit of a sling tackle there with Joel Wharton. He's okay, though. Brodie Montague picks it up out of the pack, has a flying shot at goal. Geez, they're in trouble here. It's going to be Coughlin who sockers it off the ground and puts it through for a major. Well, you could just read it like a book that it was going to happen. The weight of numbers with Sandhurst, the pressure at the football and the contest sees another goal on the board. 11-10-76 Sandhurst lead. Kyneton 3-9-27. 18 minutes gone, third term. Footy fresh as Bendigo Football Live.
Pretty much sums up the day, to be honest, John. That was just a simple mark, should have been taken, and then they had options running, but to drop that ball where he did, under no pressure, and then Wharton ran in. Not only did he put enough pressure on him for a drop, then he kicked a goal off the ground. They need to have a look at it. Bryce Kernow's just doing what he wants, running up and down the ground. They got the second ruckman, Summers, resting. Need to change that.
Back in the middle, Tigers will get this one out of the middle. That's Youngham's. He sends it inside forward 50, trying to get a fly at it with Summers, unable to come down with it. Ball spills to the pack, and Sandhurst had just got the numbers at the drop of the footy. Curnow gets it, just sends it forward like a barrel. It's going to bounce, bounce, bounce. There's three Kyneton players that should be able to work this out. The big fella there couldn't quite take clean possession, went down to pick it up, and it came off his shin. And as a result, the Dragons have turned it over. Quick kick forward from Lockie Zimmer's gone out of bounds on the full, and it will be turned over. It wasn't his greatest moment there, Lockie Zimmer. Won't want to have that one on replay, and the Dragons will bring it, Tigers I should say, will bring it back into play.
So, just holding up the play, not sure where he wants to go. Let's see what he does here with the footy. Well, it was a short pass. It was probably gained about 10 metres. Youngans win the footy. Moves it on.
Jordan Utica. He's been good.
Short pass. Jake Summers. Summers now, he'll go to the hot spot. They'll set themselves. Up they go. Foreman front and centre. But it's good work by Cooper Smith, and he'll spread it wide.
Read the ball nicely. Sends it wide, but reading back in the race will be Comden for the Tigers, who's got three Sandhurst players to defend with. Tried to probably get it towards the boundary, was unable to. Dragons then get the ball back into the middle. Now they're away. Comes over to Smith. Smith's got it. Has a bit of time, then just sends a high ball inside forward 50, wanting a target. Couple of players fly. Wharton was lurking. Ball little soccer forward. Still Wharton. Kept it in. Paddled it to himself. Then he lost it. And then the pack of players diverge on the footy, and the umpire's going to come in and pin a free kick to the Tigers by the looks.
Too high.
So the free kick's going to go the way of Ethan Turner. Another one of those Kyneton players who really need to have an influence on the game. Been a bit quieter for his lofty standards. Chips it to a teammate. Right hard up against the behind post here for the Tigers. Going back across, that was Huntley. He goes back to where we started. Bit of stagnant movement in this game here. Short chippy pass was risky, but it finds its way to a teammate in Jordan Utica. Mark not paid. Able to recover and handball wide. Then the Tigers will send a quick kick down the wing. Dragons have got the numbers. They'll pump it back inside forward 50. Ball's going to fly high, and that's a terrific grab by Huntley. Got up high, took the mark. He's quick to fire it wide. Finds a teammate. Chambers has got it. Down the line he goes. Mark's taken out here. This is Summers, who's been quite impressive this quarter for my liking, Jake Summers. Right in front of that Sandhurst dugout. Kicks it down the line. Ethan Foreman comes. He takes a nice grab too. A couple of people in the crowd thought it might have been 50 as Mills gave him a little bit of treatment after he had the ball. Gets up, quickly fires into the middle of the ground, but the kick wasn't on. Montague had a chest mark that he dropped, was able to recover. Curnow got it, got the advantage for an off-the-ball free kick. Stagg got it. Stagg fired it inside forward 50 at the back of the pack, and that is Joel Wharton. And that is what Sandhurst have done all day. They have sweated on a Kyneton turnover, and they have pushed forward, and that's going to result in another shot at goal.
Exactly, just running straight down the ground, using the ball well. Hey, Cam, you're a bit hard on Ethan Turner before too, mate, saying about his lofty standards. It's his debut game today, mate. Third-generation Kyneton player. It's his first game, so...
He's hit the post.
Thought I'd throw that in, mate.
So, it's a poster. 11-11-77 now at Sandhurst. 3-9-27 Kyneton.
Might have been the second-generation Turner I was thinking of.
Harrison Huntley is going to kick it in from fullback. Huntley, he's unsure where to go. Looks grandstand side. Then he decides to hoof it geez, there's no real target that he was aiming for. Noah Walsh emerges from it.
Got dumped too.
He got hit behind the ear, I think, and
He's something can't hear.
I reckon umpire Goodridge has brought the book out.
They're in here.
He has.
Oi.
There's a bit going on the ground. Nick Stagg is on the ground, and in fact, it's Noah Walsh.
Yeah, Noah Walsh.
I think it's.
The goal's been kicked too, actually, so I didn't see who kicked the goal, but the goal was kicked.
I think that'd be Hamish Youngins coming our way.
No idea who kicked the goal. Advantage was paid, the goal was kicked. And the Dragons get their 11th goal, 11-11-77, Kyneton 3-9-27, 50-point margin. As we try and dissect what just happened then, Wixie.
Just downfield, but it was pretty crude, to be honest.
Well, I don't know if there was a goal scored there.
No, the goal umpires, both umpires waved their flags and signalled a goal.
Because we were at 3-9-27 moments ago, weren't we? Because Quinn has kicked one and Manuel has kicked two.
Yeah, Sandhurst goal.
Now, there's a bit going on into the middle.
Whoa! Whoa!
There's a bit of...
Whoa! I reckon there might be a field report here.
TV ringside. We won't cast any aspersions, but it's fair to say that there's a bit going on in the middle here between both sides who need to settle down, because umpire Goodridge has got his pencil sharpened.
He has. He's written stuff down already, mate.
Yeah.
It could be 3 or 4 players on the way out there. I'm not sure who that Sandhurst player was, but that wasn't a good look.
So, well, a bit of feeling, a bit of spirit going on in the middle of the Kyneton Showgrounds.
The goal's definitely kicked because they're coming back into the middle.
They are coming back in the middle. As you're right, Cam, things were going on with Noah Walsh. He just got upended, and then it started from there. So, Ireland comes off for the Dragons. He seems okay.
Has anyone been sent off?
No, hasn't. No, doesn't look like that. But all players seem to now, common sense has now prevailed, so they're all spreading themselves. Umpire Goodridge is having a word to a number of both teams. Puts away his book, in particular speaking to Noah Walsh. But Noah Walsh was the victim in the first part of that little bit of a fracas. As umpire Goodridge balls it up. That's the best thing to do. Let's get the footy going. Grabbed out in the air by Hosking. Hosking on the left. He whirls and he goes. He'll be looking for Thornton, who's at the goal, a teeth of goal. Wharton's lurking as well. Only a metre out. They need to kill it here, the Tigers. They haven't. It's all with Sandhurst. Spills to Coghlan. James around the body. Minor score. And he had a chance then and just missed out. So Sandhurst go to 11-12-78. They lead the Tigers 3-9-27, 25 minutes gone, third term.
Tell you what though, Wixie, that summarises what young Noah Walsh is about. Got ended and he refused to come off and he's straight into that next centre bounce. Terrific young, hard at the footy player. So Kyneton bring it in. Just a little bit of tempest flaring out here. Ball on the far side of the ground. Free kick's going to be plucked away. The Tigers for a high tackle. And it's going to be far side of the ground. They look to come in, board the Tigers, but just not much doing. So they're forced to then send it down the wing. At the back, Quinn. Can he try and find some space? In fact, it was Utica. And he was unable to do so. Ball trickles over the boundary line and we'll have it thrown in.
Always kicking the contest, aren't they? They need to be on the move.
Eagle Hawk, Canterbury Park, 23-11, 149. Lead Maryborough, 1-4-10. And the Golden Square have hit the lead, 9-6-60 to 6-9-45. They've taken the lead over the Storm out at Tannery Lane.
8 goals in a row for Golden Square?
Yes, well, certainly they've hit a purple patch, so it'll be interesting to get a summation of that game during the week. Ooh. As Coghlan emerged with the footy, goes on the left. He'll go inside forward 50. They'll set themselves. Tigers, Johns picked it up. He got tackled. Oh. Dragons, geez, they're hard at the ball. That was Paul Pratt. Did well. He tackled. Both players did well, then Chambers as well.
Oh, no.
There's no need for that because they both did pretty well. And now there's a little bit going on off the footy. Umpire does the smartest thing he's done all afternoon, and he said, play on, spreads to the wing. Utica's there, that's Jordan.
What they used to say, Johnny, I'll watch the footy, you watch the fight. As the Tigers work the ball forward, they go towards centre-half forward. And it's killed over the boundary line. It's still going on behind the ball here as well. And tempers are certainly flaring in this one. But I agree with you on there. Both players were just hard at that footy. I don't think there was any malice or anything involved in that last.
There was no need to carry on with it at the end, I guess. But the emotions are running high just as we speak.
Utica did well then, but he had a problem out. He looked up and only had 3 Sandhurst blokes to kick to.
So ball will be thrown in. 60 out from home for the Tigers. Can they get themselves rolling with a couple of goals in a row? They've been much better this quarter, but they've unable to really put it on the scoreboard. Quinn got it, got tackled, had to fire out a handball, and he did, but it was a turnover straight to Walsh. Walsh tried to take on a player, got tackled, and the siren may have saved his blushes there as umpire comes in, throws his hand up, signals the end of the quarter. And at three-quarter time in this one, the Kyneton Tigers 3-9-27 to Sandhurst 11-12-78. So Kyneton were much improved that quarter, but Sandhurst still winning the quarter with 3-1.
Well, it mightn't be close on the scoreboard, but certainly things tighten up in the middle, and we might be in for a little bit how you going in the last quarter. So stick around. Temper's certainly flared, and who knows, perhaps Kyneton could respond emotionally and put a few on the board. At the moment, it is Sandhurst. They are leading comfortably, however, 11-12-78 to Kyneton 3-9-27. Footy fresh.
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how. Turn the key and flick the light. Bendigo, you know it's right. Feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home.
Fresh.
Live Saturday afternoon local football. Only one station. Supporters know, coaches and players know. And you know, it's Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Three-quarter time here at the Kyneton Showgrounds, where Sandhurst have been dominant on the field. They are 12.84. They lead Kyneton 3-9-27. But it did get a little bit heated throughout that third quarter, so who knows, the Tigers might come back with a bit of a rush. Three-quarter time, South Bendigo lead Kangaroo Flat. They've got that one in tow now, 12-9-81. The Bloods, they lead the Kangaroos 5-10-40. And in the Heathcote District Footy League, Netball League, LBU 13-7-85. They lead North Bendigo 11-4-70. John Hunter, Cameron Power and Paul Wicks bringing you all the round two actions here live from the Kyneton Showgrounds. The goal kickers to date, all singles. There's only three. In fact, there's two to Cameron Manuel for the Tigers and a single to Thomas Quinn. And for the Sandhurst Dragons, 4 to Lachlan Wright, who's bobbed up. James Coglin's looked dangerous as well. He's got 2. And singles to Thornton, Walsh, Stagg, Smith and Niall. We have got an unknown goal kicker because there was the word to describe it was a fracas going on in the middle. There was so much going on that the ball was kicked out of the pack and a goal was paid. So we can't give you that final goal kicker.
I think they actually called the free kick, which was a 50, and none of us saw who wandered down to kick the goal.
No,
so
we won't cast aspersions on anyone out in the field there because they're innocent until proven guilty. But there are a number of players, both teams, that might be a bit nervous during the week, one would say.
Yes, I reckon that their footage may be reviewed after the game. So let's move on. Let's have a look at the better players for the Sandhurst Dragons. Matt Thornton is providing a very good option down in that forward line. Has only kicked the one goal, but he has had 5 or 6 shots for goal. Noah Walsh, best player on the ground for me by a fair way, has been absolutely superb. James Coughlin was quite impressive in that third quarter. Bryce Curnow stood up when Kyneton put the heat on and started to come at him in the third quarter. He was quite impressive. And, of course, Hamish Hosking has been fantastic down in the ruck for the Dragons. Over to you, Paul, for Kyneton's better players.
Hard to find, to be honest, but I think
better in that third quarter.
They started off better, but then the skill areas took their toll. But I think Cameron Manuel's battled hard with Tom Quinn. Harrison Huntley's worked pretty hard and tried hard under a lot of pressure. But I think their best player so far has been Jordan Utica. He's had plenty of the ball, used it well on occasions, but him and the rest of their team, mate, skills have been costing them. One thing I will say, John, before we start is Dean Goodrich is probably onto his second pencil, mate, for sure.
He would be. Three-quarter time in the Heathcote District Football Netball League. Inglewood, 11-10-76. They look like they might go on to score a victory against Bridgewater. Let's count them early, but 9-1-55. So 55 playing
First
76.
time in 15 years that
they're on the way. Speaking of Dean Gildridge, he holds the ball aloft. 3-9-27, 14-12-84. Sandhurst lead. Here's Cameron Powell. Footy fresh. Here's Bendigo Football Live.
Ball goes up. Final quarter at the Kyneton Showgrounds. Walsh is in and amongst it like he has been all day for Sandhurst. And, well, we're just going to do it all again. Ball went up, ball come down, players dived on and do it again. Pretty much sums up how that started the quarter there. Kyneton had a shot on goal already by this stage in that last third quarter. They get it forward this time. Utica, Jordan, who's been superb. Winning it down there was Curnow for the Dragons. They can come back through the middle. They go wide. Island's out there. Got a bit of a bad bounce. There's a downfield free kick that's been called, and it's going to go the way of the Dragons, which will end up with Walsh.
Threw him down after he got rid of it again, Cam.
Not for the first time today that Noah Walsh has been dealt with after the footy, but he is a fine young player. Gets it, sends it down the wing. Pack of players flying up. Lockie Wright was there. Ball spills to the back of the pack. Now they go inside 50, but it's a kick that probably skews off the side of the boot, bounces towards the boundary line. Boundary line wins out. We'll throw it in. 50 out from home for the Dragons.
Nearly had a chance to go and get his own kick then, Cam. He was the only bloke that was going to get it until it went out of bounds.
Boundary umpire throw the ball back into play. High ball goes up. Hosking went it down. Going through was Coughlin. Got it. Sent it inside forward 50. Thornton's there. Tried to go the one-handed grab. Kyneton have got players at the drop of the ball. That's Caleb Fisher, who has absolutely shanked it. He shanked it bad enough that it could be deliberate. Oh, I think the umpire thought he might have paid it. And, well, when there's no one in the vicinity of the kick, it's, you know, what do they call it? Insufficient attempt, but it was just a genuine skill error. And will be thrown back into play. The crowd down in front of me signalling that they thought it should have been paid.
The umpire will throw it back in. Geez, he gives it a good hurl. Good effort.
That's very impressive.
Yes. The most exciting thing that's happened in the last minute or two is Orr for the Tigers. Picks it out of the pack, but he kicks it straight into the middle, and Curnow intercepts for the Dragons. Smack bang in the centre circle. Curnow spreads wide. got Smith. Smith now. Oh, there's players lurking everywhere. Unfortunate Wharton then went to the back of the pack. Harrison Huntley cleverly just decided to put it over the boundary line and watched it really in the end, which was a good move. And we'll have a ball in. Sandhurst attack, 27 playing 84. We've gone 3 minutes, final turn, footy fresh as Bendigo Football Live.
Probably good it went out, mate, because it was him against 3.
Ball will be thrown back into play. Going around play. That's a very impressive hurdle. It's gone a good 20 metres. It's actually cleared both ruckmans. Spills to the back, picked up by Youngans. Youngans sends it into the middle, trying to get a leap up at it was Eels, unable to do so. Ball hits the pack. Kerno got it. Gave it off to a teammate. Now the Dragons, they go backwards to go forwards. Hoods. Now they've got the space out wide. They chip wide. That came from Smith. Smith's got it. Now Island, he goes inside forward. 50 flying high and taking a nice mark is Lockie Wright, who will go back and line up for goal number 5.
Just when the ball looked like it was going to get cleared, mate, they were just outnumbered at the back of the contest, which has been the story of the day, to be honest.
So looking for number 5. 40 out, not much of an angle to deal with. No breeze here, perfect conditions for football. Comes in, fires at goalwards, and it never looks like missing. Straight through the middle of the hay diddle diddle, as you say, and the Dragons, they get the first of the final quarter and their lead extends. 13-12-90, Kyneton 3-9-27, 3.5 minutes gone in the final quarter at the Kyneton Showgrounds.
If you said Noah Walsh was best on ground, mate, Bryce Kerno wouldn't be far behind. He's just done what he wanted all day. Just drifts up and down the ground, and the resting ruckman hasn't been able to follow him up and contest.
Yeah, well, Kyneton probably could present him with a jumper because they've kicked it to him all day.
Well, I was suspecting that Kyneton might have responded after a bit of emotion-charged third term, but they haven't. It's been all the Dragons in this last term as well. And they'll do it again. Polprat in the end of a handball. He'll go forward inside 50. And it was really Cones, the training Cones, wasn't it? Niall takes a mark on his chest pretty much. 45 directly in front. He'll line them up, City in for another shot at goal.
Just another short kick coming into the 50, but when there's no pressure on the kicker and no pressure on the bloke who's presenting, it's always going to result in a shot for goal, John.
Yeah, it's Niall with the footy. Spins it round in his hands. He's kicked one this afternoon already. Not much of him. He's probably just a young man. In fact, he is. And that's, well, poor kick.
The helicopter.
It was a shocker, really, as they're all tied up in the goal square. Good tackling. Joel Wharton for the Dragons tried to tie it in, and he has. And now they're only metres around from goal. And we'll have the ball up. Up they go. Oh, hard. Good work, Stagg. Tigers failed to kick it. Stagg basically grabbed it out of the air and slammed it on the boot, and it went through and went through. So they extend the lead now. Dragons 14-12-96. They lead the Tigers 3-9-27. 5 minutes gone. Last term. Footy fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Jimmy Orr just presented to him on a platter what he was trying to do, and Stagg got into that space. Good finish.
Bit of Daniel Wells, Jackie Chan about that in the end there.
Yeah, it was. It was a good goal. Like you said, John, you want to see some bit of fight towards the end of this game out from the Kyneton boys, don't you?
You do. But it's not to be.
Ball back in the middle. And while Sandhurst will just win the ball out of the middle, which has been the story of the day. Walsh thought he was going to be on there with another handball, but Utica was torn up to be able to impact it. Kick goes wide, but it's straight to Sandhurst. They send it down the line. Chance here for young Niall. Well, he only marked it with his foot, if that makes sense. I'm not sure it does. Trying to throw out a handball. It was more of a throw, but he got away with it. Picked up. That's Joel Wharton. He got it. Trying to send it forward. And there's a free kick that's been plucked, and it's going to go the way of the Dragons, which is Nick Stagg.
Lucky free kick there. Actually went back into the tackle to try and break it, and they just got him high, so probably a bit lucky to get that.
Dow Park Blood 75 lead the Roos 39 as Stagg plays on. He puts it to the hot spot. Montague is the target. He's lurking. Also Tigers. In fact, it might have been a juggling mark to Lucas Utica that was paid. So the ball was in dispute, but he had all of his hands on it, if that made sense. Utica now, beyond 50. Set themselves again. 3 deep. Tigers. Summers. Good strong mark. He points long, and that's the way he kicks it.
That's it. Summers on a good summer's day here in Kyneton. Not that it's not in summer, but it is a nice sunny day. And it's kicked it straight down the throat of Liam Island. And I guess you could say he was out on an island there. He was all on his own. They send it forward into the middle of the ground. Tigers turn it over. Utica's got it, Lucas. And now the pack of Sandhurst. What do they call a pack of Dragons, Johnny?
Good question. I could probably get back to you on that. You leave it with me and I'll let you know.
We'll go back in the middle of the ground. It's taken forward for Sandhurst. Walsh chips it to centre half forward, but it's going to be intercepted and Comden takes the mark. He then sends it into the middle of the ground. Oh, just a little bit too high for McGee. Tried to juggle it, couldn't. Sandhurst turn it over, send it inside forward 50. Oh, no communication at all from the two Kyneton players. Neither of them wanted to take the mark and running into an open goal. And unable to convert was Lockie Zimmer. That would have made the blushes. And I think those two Kyneton boys there will feel a little bit relieved after that one, Wixie.
Well, I was calling for him to go back in the middle and change direction, but there's no point doing that if you're not going to hit the target.
There's a number of collectives for the Dragons. One of them is Fleet and one of them is Thunder. So use whatever one you want. As that Thunder of Dragons will take possession of the footy now. In fact, they lost it. It was almost on cue, but Tigers come from nowhere. Quinn, he goes long. Inside forward 50. Well, it wasn't a realistic attempt.
Is that Manuel?
It was Manuel who put the hands in the shoulders of Ireland and tried to launch himself. Didn't get his hands on the ball, so it was a free kick every day of the week. Short pass Curnow. Short pass further afield. Wider, in fact, to Walsh. Noah Walsh at the ankles of Montague. Tries to pick it up off his shoelace. Did cleverly. Gives it back by hand to Walsh. Walsh down the line. Finds Niall, who takes a mark. And he's probably two decent kicks from goal.
Niall plays on. That's a better looking kick than his last effort. Thornton will get a fly at the footy. Couldn't quite take it, but it comes to ground. Tigers should have the numbers around the ball. Behind a Thunder of Dragons, as Johnny just summarised it. Now it comes out, McGee's got it. He sends it wide, finds a teammate, and that'll be marked for the Tigers in the hands of Caleb Fisher. Down the line he goes. And good use of the body. The mark's been paid. Fast side of the ground for the Tigers. They'll wheel it forward in the direction of a teammate. This is Youngans. He's probably been one of the young Tigers that I think has been impressive, except for that because he's kicked it straight in the man on the mark. Well, if that's not a commentator's curse, I don't know what is. What do they say? Never say a batsman when he's on 99, but that was terrible. They work it forward, the Tigers. And not much happening out on the far side of the ground here. Just a little bit of stagnant footy. Dragons have got it. Player trying to get under the run was unable to take a clean possession. He took a bounce. The ball didn't come back to him, but he's going to get saved because he was... Oh, has he been pinned for holding the ball, Wixie?
Yeah, he gave it holding the ball.
John's with the footy for the Tigers. I doubt whether you've been on 99 in the past in the cricket game anyway. Cameron, correct me if I'm wrong, but all I can hear is crickets at the moment. Pardon the pun. Short pass. I think I'm on the money. Kicks to Randall. Tigers. Quinn is breaking for him, so they've brought it from one wing to the other laterally. Now down the line. So they're making space here. The big ruckman receives a mark on the chest. That's Orr for the Tigers. You'll go to the front of the top of the square and a good grab. So I'm not sure whether the Dragons just lapsed off there, but they let him get away in Utica. That's Jordan, who's been pretty good this afternoon for the Tigers. Directly in front at the top of the square. Probably he needs to fall, well, a little bit further out, but directly in front. You'd reckon he'd slot this for sure, wouldn't you?
I'm backing him in to kick it. He's played well today. Now it's better passage of footy. Kick it out in front, make him run onto it.
To the Beecham Street end, the freeway end, the left footer sneaks it in for a goal. So good reward for effort. 4-9-33, a disappointing Tigers this afternoon. 14-12-96 Dragons. Where, well, the honest truth is that the huff and the puff has been out of this game for quite a while. We've still got about, you'd think 20, maybe 15 minutes left in this game. 4-9-33, Sandhurst 14-13-97. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Good reward for effort for Jordan. He has played well, as I said.
Golden Square 81 lead the Storm 64 at Tannery Lane.
It's a massive turnaround. Storm got a good jump on them early in that game, so you're right. Be really interested to hear about how that game played out. Manuel's got it. Sends it forward. Not much doing. Kyneton player was swung around with the footy. Thought I heard a whistle. Obviously I didn't. I'm hearing the same thing you heard earlier as Montague sent it wide. Now the Dragons can come forward. Might be the phantom whistle. There's a tunnel that's going on out there, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of the Tigers. And the Kyneton player hit the ground pretty hard there, Wixie.
Yeah, he's in a bad way. I can't see his number. He's rolled over a couple of times. He just rolled the other way for us to help.
It's a Turner. It's Ethan Turner. And that was all accidental. There was nothing untoward in that. Young Connick for the Dragons, who may have been the offending player, went straight to him and apologised and tried to pick him up. So
Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, you left, John.
no, but at least the spirit's there. And to boot, he's got cramp. So the trainer doesn't know whether to look at his back, his neck, or he'd look after the cramp. And having had cramp in a football game before, I can tell you that's probably one of the most painful things. So get to that first. And I think he might be, you know what, he might be even winded as well. Do you want me to add something else into that?
Yeah. All right, winded as well. Which one did she go to first?
Yeah, which one does she? Well, I reckon go the cramp.
His back, his neck, or his... No, I'm not going to go there.
He's actually, he's going to come off. He's going to come off. So, yeah, he's sucking in the big one, so he's obviously got winded when he hit the ground as well. Obviously from the tunnelling. So let's get back to the footy now. Tigers.
He hasn't got off the ground yet.
Oh, geez, they make me nervous, the Tigers at the moment. Their defensive game, disappointing thing for me after seeing them last year. It's Foreman with the footy. They've really gone backward.
Foreman's kick has ended up in the hands of a teammate. That teammate is Mason Crozier. Mason Crozier's got it. He just chips it back to where it come from. Foreman's got it again. Chipping ball again. They make you nervous again, don't they, Johnny? Huntley's got it. Huntley's cramped up.
He's cramped.
He's cramped. He's gone. That's the handball off because he can't kick it because of his cramp. Short pass came. That was Huntley who chipped it to a teammate who found Chambers. Chambers will then switch it. Oh, it's a dangerous kick, but it will find a teammate. That teammate there is Comden. I hope you haven't got your special effects mock on there. Chambers has got it. Sends it wide. Finds another teammate, and Kyneton are just playing backwards at the moment.
Johns, what are you laughing at, Cameron? Stop it. Johns goes short to Comden.
It's going to just one side of the ground to the other.
Crozier takes a mark. Not much going on in this game of footy, is there, clearly? Short pass, Fisher. Fisher of the Tigers. Inboard. Oh, that was a
kick. He's missed.
Wow. Geez, I'll tell you what we're all groaning about.
5 Dragons attacked him. What do we call it again, Johnny?
The Thunder. The target was Foreman, and it was an underground shocking kick that really you should kick every day of the week when you just got normal basic footy training. It was just a skill error. So picked up by Hosking of the Dragons. Top of the square, Thornton dragged out without the footy. Joel Wharton will swoop on it, but luckily it was Fisher of the Tigers who ran it through for a minor score. So it's 33 playing 98. 15 minutes gone, final term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
I reckon Fisher would have been better suited to last week's conditions, Johnny. Chipping it back in the middle of the ground, giving me nothing there. Finds its way into Crozier. He sends it wide. Teammate there's McGee's got it. McGee comes back into the middle. It's a 3-on-1. The kick had to be perfect, and it was. Youngans has got it. Wheels around onto his right. Sends it towards centre half forward. A couple of Kyneton players fly up at it, but they're unable to take a clean possession. Falling at the back is Jordan Utica. He tried to send a handball to a teammate. That teammate was Orr. Orr couldn't get it. Sandhurst player in there. Fired it out. Kern out. And the Dragons have worked it out, and it's into the hands of Nick Stagg.
Stagg now. He's got a player in Montague in the middle. Spots him up. Montague, time and space, short pass. Get out the witch's hat again, because he's just slammed it onto Matt Thornton's chest, and he's going to line them up for another game. And I'll tell you what, the difference in standard between this game and last week between Gisborne and the Storm are poles apart.
Well, that was another turnover on the Kyneton half-forward line. Jimmy Orr, the big ruckman, ran past for the handball and forgot to actually grab the ball, and he's ran straight past it. They've picked it up. Montague in the middle, straight down the guts.
They do say never trust the ruckman.
Matty Bear Thornton to the city end. It's a long, high kick. He's kicked through the footy. Umpire hardly moved. Straight over his cap for his second of the afternoon. So Sandhurst extend the lead. 15-14-104. Lead the Tigers. 4-9-33. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live, and we've gone 16 and a half minutes final term.
It's going to be a long second half of the quarter, I think, this for the Kyneton boys. Montague just had the centre square to himself after that turnover, and then Harrison Huntley 5 minutes ago had a cramp, so he's not going to be running at full speed. But just where the ball was for Bear Thornton out in front of him, good mark.
What do you reckon Chappie says after the game?
Oh, where would you start? He probably could say a lot.
Ball in the middle. Flying up a little bit early this time was Hosking, who's been very impressive for Sandhurst today, and I'm not sure why the umpire called that one back because the ball was still bouncing around. But
I'll tell you what it'll revolve around, and we'll talk about it after the final siren. It'll be about defensive effort by the Tigers, basically. That's what it'll be.
Work it out. Hosking got it. Got the handball from Palprat. They send it wide into the hands of one of the two ball players. This one is Palprat. Sends it forward. A little bit of an air attempt there to try and take the mark for the Dragons with Stagg. Got it. Recovered nicely. Good handball off to a teammate in Mills. Mills tried to be a little bit too cute. Found its way to Thornton. In fact, it's actually Wright, who's got 5. And as the great Joel Peterson would say, he needs one more to have a bag.
Yeah, but good effort anyway. He's probably not the target we'd expect to kick the big goals this afternoon, would he? You'd think it'd be Thornton. And he stepped probably into the shoes of Andy Collins really well, who is unavailable for today's game. Young'uns.
Sandhurst player down too.
Back pocket. Young'uns, Tigers. Beyond 50 down the line. They'll set themselves. Curnow, big fist, Dragons, puts it over the boundary line. Defensive work was good by Curnow. He's been great this afternoon, actually. 4-9-39, Kyneton. 15-14, 104, Sandhurst. 18 minutes gone, final term.
I haven't got any binoculars, so I'll take this one because it's right in front of me. Nice and easy here. Umpire throws it in. Hosking wins it down. In there for the Dragons was Palprat. Tried to take on a tackle. The Kyneton crowd edged the umpire on to giving him the free kick, and eventually he does.
Final score, Canberra.
Palprat's not giving the ball back. That probably could very really be 50. Mate. That should be 50.
Final score, Canberra Reserve. I just thought I'd...
There's no option in that.
Wow.
Well, the umpires paid a free kick. I want to go to the Camp Reserve because Gisborne 12-11-83 have defeated Castlemaine 4-5-29, which I think that's a pretty good effort by Castlemaine.
That is a good effort from Castlemaine.
So 29 playing 83. Final score at the Camp Reserve for the Castlemaine Magpies. Huntley intercepts. Tigers, back pocket, kicks it long. Good strong mark. Summers. Tigers, left half forward. Up against the boundary line. Broadcast side. Looks to go long again. Kicks to a contest. They'll set themselves. Big punch defensively. Matt Wilkinson for the Dragons. Hits it towards the boundary line. Over it goes. And near the dugout for the Dragons. A happy Dragons dugout. We'll have a ball in across half forward for the Tigers. 33 playing 104 here. The Sting has well and truly gone out of this game.
Definitely has, mate. They're just going through the motions now. I think it's just a matter of no injuries.
Canterbury Park, Eagle Hawk 158, lead Maryborough 10.
So Young'uns, I think, was dealt with off the ball, and he's going to get a free kick. And it's going to be taken by Eels. So well off the ball, Eels gets it. Sends it high inside forward 50. Big pack of players will fly. Punch come from behind, hits the front of the pack. Can Kyneton try and find a way through? They go one way, then the other, then they're caught in the tackle. Dragons will work it out. Montague's got it. Steps one way, steps the other, then just sends it down the line, which is the grandstand side here at the showgrounds. And the free kick's been plucked, I'm guessing, for a block maybe?
Things are tightening up at Tannery Lane. It's a 1-goal straight margin. We haven't got the time clock, of course, so it must be in the shadows of full time. So that game is still alive. Wilkinson sharked it for the Dragons, goes inside forward 50, bounces into a vacant goal square. Huntley taps it in front of him, picked it up nicely. By hand, he gives it to Comden. Comden by hand, handballs forward, Fisher. In fact, it was a kick forward, Fisher. Because you don't get paid a mark for a handball, obviously.
There's nothing up the ground, John.
Fisher, defensive zone, Tigers. Just kicks it to another contest. They'll set themselves, set up for Curnow. Front and centre was Quinn for the Tigers. He's tackled maybe too high. In fact, a throw for Wright of the Dragons. He's got a free kick.
So Wright's got it. The fastest man on the field. There you go, the fastest man on the field, as you heard there. Sends it inside forward 50. Oh, Huntley got a cramp at the wrong moment there. He's hit the ground. Ball might have been out of bounds. Umpires didn't agree with the decision there to play it out of bounds. It goes across the face, and this time it's out of bounds on the other side pocket.
Let him play.
I think it bounced off a car before, to be honest.
75 playing 39. Bloods lead Kangaroo Flat at Dower Park, so that game is beyond doubt, you would imagine. And also, well, Eagle Hawk 158 playing 10 to Maryborough, so a long week for Maryborough. As we're on half back for the Tigers, Fisher He spreads it wide, bouncing footy towards the boundary line. They'll see it go over, and we'll have another ball in. So the showgrounds here at Kyneton, bathed in sunshine one half of it, and long shadows in the other.
Unfortunately, we're in the long shadow side. It's starting to get a little bit cold.
Good crowd here at the showgrounds, but you would sense that it's mainly Tigers, and they've been pretty quiet this afternoon, haven't they? Really hadn't had a lot to cheer about as the umpire.
Even at three-quarter time, though, the huddle out there for Kyneton had a lot of supporters around there, considering the game was out of reach. So
Paul Pratt kicks it out of the pack for the Dragons. Coughlin was the target. Good strong tackle by that player. And again, we'll have another ball up. 70 out from goal. Out of side, attacking the Dragons, looking to build on this lead, which is 104 playing 33 with only 3 or 4 minutes remaining in the final term.
Kyneton will try and work the ball forward. Pack of players around it. Eventually they're able to come away. They fire a handball into the middle of the ground. Finds Chambers. Sends it forward. Oh, juggling mark was taken though. They wheel around onto the left. Good ball inside forward 50 from Foreman. Finds a teammate. That teammate is Thomas Quinn, who's got one of the 4 Kyneton goals, so a quarter of their goals.
Let's stick at Tannery Lane. The Storm pinched back the lead, 94 to 88 to Golden Square.
So that'd be the third lead change in that one, in that last quarter.
Yeah, it's still, that game is still in progress, so we'll keep the scores coming as they come to hand.
Must be a breeze going to one end of the ground down there, I reckon. Quinn, 45 out, comes around, steps off his line, fires at Goalwoods. It's swinging, it's swinging, it's swinging. Has he got enough of it? Goal umpire had to work, but he signals a goal. And the Tigers get their 5th. Thomas Quinn gets his 2nd. And they move along to 5 goals, 9-39. Sandhurst 15-14, 104. But 24 minutes gone in the final term here at the Kyneton Showgrounds.
Final score, Wixie, final score at Dower Park. Kangaroo Flat, 5-9-39, have been defeated by South Bendigo, 11-9-75.
That was better use of the ball by Kyneton. Obviously, as we said, the sting's gone out of it, but apart from the first 10 minutes of the quarter and the first 5 of the third, they haven't had much to cheer about.
Up they go in the ruck. It'll be the Tigers that take it from the middle through McGee. McGee up and under kick to half forward. Spills wide to James Coughlin. He should collect this footy on the outer side wing. He paddles it towards the boundary line. Good pressure on his hammer is Chambers. They work hard, both players. Umpire let things go. Eventually Wilkinson received a handball for the Dragons and was under pressure and put it over the boundary line and in for a throw in. Outer side of the ground. Umpire just takes his time. In the ruck on this occasion for the Tigers will be Eels up against young Nile. So Nile, they're different body shapes. Eels grabs the footy, then Nile grabs Eels and the footy, and the umpire says, I'm going to grab my chest, blow the whistle, and I'll ball it up.
Harrison Huntley down on the bench here, still looking pretty sore. Maybe a bit of, looks like he's getting some ice applied to the calf, so his day's done.
Young'un's probably ducked his head on that occasion. McGee picks it up for the Tigers. He puts it to half forward, one-on-one contest. Matty Wilkinson shovels it out somewhere. Might have been a throw, in fact, you called it. And a free kick will go to Lucas Utica.
Utica gets it, quickly sends it inside forward 50 for the fly. Couldn't quite come down, but that might have been Foreman down there. Ball hits the bottom of the pack and just sending it forward out of there for the Dragons off the ground.
Curnow with the ball, he handballs it, goes to Paul Pratt to Wharton, back to Paul Pratt. So the old 1-2-3 sliding in there very quickly was Wharton. Wharton handballs it, but it was ineffective. It goes to Utica towards the boundary line. Then Dragons take possession through Wharton. Short pass. They're coming here. Stagg handballs to a teammate who now kicks it long, and Connick has got the footy.
Connick's got it, calls for someone to lead up at the footy, bangs it inside forward 50. Trying to get a run at it, couldn't quite come down with it for the Dragons. And the intercept mark was taken by Caleb Fisher.
1 point margin, Tannery Lane, Golden Square take the lead from the Storm.
Wow, that's a cracking game of footy.
It's still a game in progress, 95 playing 94, Golden Square lead the Storm.
4th lead change in the final quarter there in that game, so that has been an absolute humdinger. Kyneton have got it out here right down the wing. Able to find its way forward. It finds Sheehan, and then Sheehan's able to chip it over the top to the player that just ran on the ground, Summers. Summers has got it, walked straight on the ground and got a kick within 2 seconds of being on the ground. Chips it back in. He finds Bailey McGee. McGee then sends it to centre half forward. That's a really nice kick, but it's just well read in the end by Bryce Curnow, who intercepts.
Short pass to Zimmer.
I'd love to know how many intercept marks Bryce Kerno's actually had today. It'd be over 10, surely.
And punches as well, defensively. Zimmer.
Of the footy, or?
Skews it wide off the side of the boot. He kicked it straight to the Tigers and Summers. Summers, centre wing, broadcast side, in the shadows of the grandstand. Short pass over the top. Effective. Utica. This is Lucas. He goes long, deep into the pocket. Another big punch from Curnow. He hit it, in fact, directly to Foreman. Foreman around the body on the left. He usually eats these ones up, but not on this occasion, and snuck it in for a minor score. Tigers 5-10-40. Dragons 15-14, 104. 27 and a half gone. Final term. Footy Fresh is Bendigo Football Live.
Waiting for the ball to return into the hands of Bryce Curnow, who has been absolutely superb. What a pickup he has been, and what a pickup he is going to be for this Sandhurst side, Wixie.
Yeah, very handy to be able to have him sit across half back, deep down back, and be as mobile as he is.
So Strathfield say to Kerrang and now Sandhurst.
And successful at all.
Yes, premierships at both clubs, Kerrang and Strathfield say. So is that an omen that the Dragons might be there on that final day this year? Very early in the season, I know, but they are very impressive today. They lead the Kyneton Tigers by 64 points. We tick over the 28-minute mark of the final quarter.
I want to have a look at the Dragons with a team that puts defensive pressure on them, however, because they really, and I know you can only play against who you're playing against, but they've been allowed to wander at will, really. Some of these smaller players, including this one, James Coughlin. Short pass over the top. Montague tracks the football. Full time here at the showgrounds in a game that was never really in doubt from Sandhurst early days. Final score is 5-10-40. A disappointing Tigers. They've been defeated by Sandhurst 15-14, 104. So that's a 64-point margin.
Yeah, pretty ordinary performance, I think, from Kyneton today. They'll be pretty disappointed with that. I think they would have come here today expecting a much better showing. Sandhurst, were very, very, very impressive though. But as you mentioned, Johnny, multiple times, they were able to wander and do things at will a little bit too easily for my liking, Wixie.
Yeah, look, and the game promised a lot for the first sort of 15, 20 minutes. But yeah, Sandhurst, their system, their setup and their skill just took over and wore Kyneton down. So 64 points, yeah. Look, Johnny, it probably says more about Kyneton than it does Sandhurst. As you said, you would like to see them against a side that does put pressure on them. Kyneton, I think they got, well, as we said, skills were terrible. A lot of turnovers and work rate just fell off too early. So yeah, they've got a fair bit to work on. Sandhurst, yeah, good running game, as you said. Will it stand up against, maybe one of the top 2 or 3 sides? Time will tell.
Well, Curnow in particular, across half-back. And I think Kyneton, the Tigers, they played into his hands because numerous times, particularly later in the game, I suppose, when they were tired and they thought that the game was well and truly over, but the kicks down the line, 50 metres, it just set it up for Curnow to float either across the front of the pack or from behind. It didn't matter which way he came from, but there was no pressure on body to Curnow. He had a run at it, and if it wasn't fisting the ball with either fist, mind you, he was marking the damn thing. So, yeah, a lot of work to be done by the Tigers down in that first part of the ground. Well, all over the ground, really.
And I think a lot of the other coaches will go to work on that. You cannot afford to have your resting ruckman playing on Bryce Curnow. He runs off.
It feels like home, it feels like home. Berry plant, it feels like home. A place for you, a place for now. And Berry plant will show you how.